I think we are successfully live. I broke my computer in half attempting to download Path of Exile 2 while launching this stream, and my computer did not like that very much at all. So we have that paused. I'm definitely going to tempt God by attempting to restart the download at some point in the next couple minutes. What's up, Ontario? Welcome to the stream. Anyway, I'm definitely going to tempt fate by trying to gay sex. Kakwala, welcome to the stream. Speaking of gay sex, what's up, Yo-Yo Falcon? Troper, why are you talking about 500 cigarettes? We are, you are, yo, you are not live. So good. No audio. Perfect. Perfect, no audio. Why wouldn't there be audio though? Because there's audio on my end. Oh, mauled mic does need, my main mic does need a volume boost though, because this has been a consistent problem, so we're gonna bring that up to like 1,000,000 percentage points louder than normal. That should be good. Bro looking extra good today, thank you. #1 Marvel Rivals streamer reviewing decks. So I figured out that I'm just a support player in Marvel Rivals. The Magic Plock, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friend. The only character, so there's 2 characters in Marvel Rivals that do not give me clinical depression, and those 2 characters are exclusively Iron Fist and Cloak and Dagger. If I play Iron Fist, I can have an individually okay time, but also I will lose the game for us. I am strictly horrible at hero shooters, but if I play Cloak and Dagger, because I know how the fights should play, I can support my teammates and help call out what to do. But as long as I am freed from the ravages of having to aim my fucking reticule at anything, and I can just hold down left click and deploy my abilities correctly, now I'm hot. Now I'm hot. Yaramas, I have not talked about new loot. No, to my knowledge. What's up, Noramic? Welcome to the stream, my friend. To Sandmaster, thank you for the 6 months in a row with Twitch Prime. Welcome back to the dog home, my friend. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. I resisted the VTuber booba again. I am glad you're here to appreciate my booba. Escape, this stream is deck roasting. So the way this stream is going to work is my Patreon supporters have sent in a number of commander decks that they would like me to make fun of and or, but not always, make better. What they have sent in is a deck list, a power ranking, and a primer. The power ranking we accept is not 1 through 10 because that scale is bad and stupid. Listen to me. So what we accept instead is silly to spooky to scary, which is a ranking of how ominous your turns are to anybody that's paying attention to the game. And most of what we are judging people on is their adherence to their own primer. If you tell me what the deck is about and I determine that you are a liar, I'm not going to be very nice to you. If you tell me what the deck is about and you're about terrible, terrible things, but you own that, I'm not going to be very nice to you. But there will be an undercurrent of respect to my meanness. Oh, close-up doesn't have... One sec, everybody. Okay, that should be better. I had to rebuild my stream deck I'm rebuilding my stream deck from scratch because I got a new computer, and copying the old hard drive over just super didn't fucking work. And so we have a bunch of stuff we have to redo. All right, dope. Have I done Emile the Blessed? Brandon, no, I have not reviewed Emile the Blessed yet. How is the new PC? It's pretty good, except one of the fans, so one of the bearings on a fan is just not working from the very beginning, and so it makes a like non-stop tapping noise. It's just like the whole time. You guys can't hear it because the mic can't pick it up, but I can. This is my life. This is my fucking life right now. It's awesome. Ilaren, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub. Welcome to Dog Heaven, my friend. I appreciate that generosity. And that got us onto a hype train. Brandon asks, what do I got to give to get a review for it? Brandon, all you need to give me is your patience. I do not accept monetary compensation to do roasts out of order, but I will do every last one of them. You just got to give me a little bit of time to get it done. Smash or pass, Thrumming Stone, pass. It's a rock. It's a rock, dog. What do you want from me? So I'm going to go ahead and post the order. I believe everybody is able to come today, but if anybody isn't able to come, we will force them to come. If you're being roasted, do you care if they are in Twitch chat or YouTube chat? No, Jackson, I do not particularly care. It does. It is important that I like make sure I see which one you're in so that I know which part of the compiler to look at. It pleases me that the 50 dinga dollars I threw at you got you a new fan. It pleases me as well, OG. Thank you very much. Based on what you said at the end of stream Friday, any chance you'll play more Rivals if you get enough friends together? So I'm definitely going to play more Rivals. I'm not 100% I'm going to be streaming a ton more Rivals. Actually, if Bean is in... once Bean gets in here, we're going to run a poll after we do the deck roasting today. I think our options are going to be either doing Rivals, doing MTG Arena, or doing Path of Exile 2 early access, which I'm going to hit resume on this download and see if it crashes my computer real quick. Hold on, real quick. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't appear to have crashed my computer. The download doesn't want to resume. So if we can download Path of Exile 2 in time, we will be doing the Path of Exile 2 early access after we do all the deck roasts, but it's also based on the fact that I hit resume download and nothing has occurred. My computer may be unable to stream to 3 locations and download Path of Exile 2 and have 20 Chrome tabs open at the same time. Not the Chrome tabs, dude, it's always the fucking Chrome tabs. Alright, so I know I saw Jesh tap in. I know that Relic was supposed to be here sooner. Relic, if you were... Relic, sound off again. I'm gonna try to scroll back up. Alright, Jesh is here all stream. Kilroy, who on the list are you though? Because your name doesn't match up to anybody on the roasting list. Is the green screen for sale? No. Do you have a large backlog of commander decks from subscribers? Clint, we kind of have a backlog in the sense that I only allow a certain number of people to sign up each month. So in terms of how many people have decks that they want to submit to me, there's probably a backlog, but we don't have a backlog in the sense of there's like an ongoing queue, because we just let the first 48 people sign up every month, and then we work through those 48, and then we run it back the next month. There's not a open-ended, you can always sign up for this and you'll go in a queue and you'll eventually get roasted. My Narset deck with only prowess creatures and cantrips. Steel, congratulations on joining the illustrious ranks of everybody with a Narset deck. Good luck with that. Rat Mice, thank you for the 5 months with Prime. Welcome back to the dog home, my friend. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. It's 7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. Where do you live in hell or Florida, which is interchangeable depending on which part of Florida you live in. Yagareem, thank you very much for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Crab, we posted the schedule before. We're going to post it again, and then we're going to get into it with Relic because they are here. All right, nothing in my office is for sale. Nobody listened to Alarin. He is not you are not associated with me, Alarin. We are besties. I was the best man at your wedding. I was there when your peepaw passed away, but I am not associated with you. Chad Drake, thank you for coming by the stream. I appreciate those kind words. Alright, we got a random smasher pass. Bro saying this to his #1 gifter. Alright, we're gonna do a random card, then we're gonna do Ancient Relic. Rousing Refrain. No, yes, no, yes. I will not elaborate. But he is associated with me and everything in his office is for sale. God damn it. I never should have been a man of the people. I never should have been a man of the people. Look where it gets you. What's up, Talamar? Alright, so without further ado, we are going to get in to this first deck submitted to us from Ancient Relic. This is a silly / spooky deck. Their primer is a tweet, which honestly, I'm not going to open for 2 reasons. Reason 1, fuck Twitter. Reason 2, they said the full primer's in Moxfield, so we're going to read that. Okay. Oops, all Nazgul. Have you ever wondered what would happen if there were more than 9 Nazgul? No, personally, never. Well, here's what that might look like. I should note this deck idea came from a Flavor Judge tweet that I saw that had Evil Twin and Nazgul, and I took that to its logical conclusion. Now you get to see the outcome of that decision. I'm not looking at this. The deck intends to get 1 or more Nazgul on the field and copy them as many times as possible. I tried to make anything that isn't Nazgul or copy card Lord of the Rings thematic, so no communist dinosaur, unless it is specifically card draw and ramp. Deck's gone through overhauls, sits at about 15 out of 20 snips on the crab scale. I think I want this deck to be a little bit more consistent overall, since if the goal is to get a Nazgul out and copy it, then I need to make sure I'm getting to a Nazgul. The good news is that if I don't get a Nazgul, then I have a pretty decent secondary play pattern with copying opponent creatures and causing mirror matchups while I wait to draw the Nazgul I'm looking for. Yeah, that's very real of you. Having a clone deck myself, mine is all Niv Mizzets, but having a clone deck myself, clones are based as hell. We're going to come back to that thought in a moment. Menlo, Marcel's, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Welcome to Dog Heaven, my friend. If it's all the same to you, Mauled, I'd rather not fuck Twitter. I've seen your bookmarks, Menlo. Don't act like that. Yagarim, these streams are a little bit packed with breaking down the terrible commanders and terrible decks that people have, so we don't divert too much to talk about other commanders, so maybe on a different stream. Anyway, cloning is based, theft also based, but sometimes people cannot emotionally handle theft because you are playing with 3-year-olds, and so cloning is the diaper big cartoon book with a lion's face on it that potty trains you. It's a stepping stone to getting people to accept theft, because cloning means that you are always going to be relevant at the table. A very interesting phenomenon in Commander is that the more competitive you get, irrelevance can actually be a weapon. Irrelevance is useful to you because it gets people to ignore you and then you combo off and win or whatever. But at lower power levels, because the winning is less and less important. What's really important is you need to be able to be relevant and you need to be able to participate in the game. It is the fat dodgeball kid syndrome. Nobody wants to be left out and totally ignored in the decision making unless you're trying really hard to snipe wins at your casual commander pod, in which case, gotta go outside. Gotta go outside. That's not on me, that's on you. And clones keep you relevant always. It's one of my favorite parts about my clone deck that I made for Niv Mizzets. But anyway, all right, 34 lands, this makes sense. Lord of the Nazgul presumably doesn't matter other than to be thematic. Yeah, Wraiths having protection from ring bearers. I doubt Timmy the dinosaur player is making Gishath his ring bearer. So I'm going to assume this is just, hey, thematic Wraith commander. Does Villainous Wealth have a place in mid-power EDH? Yes, Justin. Just doing infinite mana into a Villainous Wealth, your whole deck doesn't. Rings D&D and G Johnson, thank you both for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Okay, so 25 clone spells. This is great. We're getting very good cost ratios because a lot of this is stuff we control, which does make sense. Although if you're worried about the deck being very consistent, that can be a little bit tricky because a lot of your 3 mana options can't do anything if we haven't gotten to Nazgul yet. So if you feel like, oh, sometimes the deck breaks down because I'm not getting to the first Nazgul to then copy it, these 3 mana clones are probably the culprits. Searunner4, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. I do love Clone Legion. I run this in my clone deck as well. Just going, at the end of the game, going, ah, fuck, I didn't really get there, but you know what? Todd got there. Todd, give me all your shit. Just give me a copy. It's not theft. Don't freak out. Why are you pissing, Todd? Just give me a copy. Just let me copy your homework, bro. I'll change it. I swear I'll change it. MLD Gator, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Oh, Nazgul can... Okay, we can turn all our Nazguls into base 9/9s. So that does matter. That does matter. So we have a million clone cards. I think the 3 mana ones are probably the weakest, particularly if you're playing this at silly to spooky tables. Most tables for 2 mana, 3 mana, they're still playing hacky sack. They're still playing ramp cards. They're still playing setup pieces. I doubt that you would really need to be cloning at that point. Your needs at 3 mana probably have more to do with drawing a Nazgul or ramping to be able to multicast Nazgul, like any number of things. Girthy Cack, what's your favorite set? Ooh, I like Duskmourn a lot. I'm not sure if it's my favorite, but I fucked with Duskmourn heavy. Pixel, my Mox Field is Mauled Magic Academy. Also, everybody on TikTok, we are live streaming on YouTube and Twitch as well. Twitch is the preferred platform, but again, if you're watching, period, I appreciate you. TomTom.com, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Okay, so our clones look pretty good, save for what I think is a little bit of inefficiency. Strong Nazgul. We have Coat of Arms because we are very confident that we are the most racist deck at the table. Door of Destinies and Faces of the Past. I feel it's like known crazy card, huh? So we can untap all of our Nazgul whenever one of our Nazgul get killed. I feel like this is absolutely incredible overkill in terms of trying to like deter people from a crackback. Because if we have Nazgul, one untapped Nazgul can hold back every green player ever. Because all of our Nazgul have Death Touch, right? Yeah, these things base have Death Touch. Our clones are going to have Death Touch. None of these land-falling assholes are going to give up their dinosaurs into one death-touching creature. Pancake Mix and Eskimo369, thank you for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the doghouse, my new friends. This is cute, though. This is cute. I'm not convinced you need it. Sucks that you don't have 20 Nazgul. And here are our racist board wipes. I love this tag. This tag gives a little bit of riz to what are otherwise some incredibly normal cards to put in there. Declips, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friend. And Rylan, welcome to the stream. Mana package. Dark Writ. Yeah, very normal mana package. Patchwork banner's nice. I know you do not like Soul Rings, but it's the Lord of the Rings one. Still not acceptable. Cast it into the fire, bro. Look at me. Look at me. Cast it into the fire. I swear to God, you'll be better off. You can have... don't think I glazed over it. I saw the fucking One Ring in here, but at least it's thematic. You can't have this one. You can have the other one. Okay, you can have the one made in the darkness to bind them. You can't have this one made for the men who touch too many fucking cards and friendly mulligan until they get Soul Ring. Stop it. Snake Eyes MTG and Mooney Smap, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friend. And then we have Flavor Interaction plus Flavor One Ring. If there's ever a deck that's going to get a pass for it, it is this one. So I will attempt to quell the hate in my heart and let you cook. But goddamn, dude. Okay. I think this is something I had to fix a lot in my deck, and I think I know how we're going to fix it, but I do want to go to the playtest to confirm your concern that if you don't draw a Nazgul, all you can really do is play reactively. Perfect. This is a hand that is otherwise playable, but no Nazgul. We'll just drop the tap land first, because who cares? We will zoom in a little bit. Okay. Elf Shredder, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friend. Red Death, Goad Kindred, what do you think? I think Goad Kindred's good. I do not think Red Death is the appropriate commander for it. I think Red Death is soft as shit, and he belongs in a Goad list, but isn't the Goad commander. Mr. Skim Jong-un, thank you very much for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friend. Alright, turn 2, we will just do mana rocks. Turn 3, we will just do mana rocks. Turn 4, we will just do our commander, I guess. Okay, we're gonna get to Scry. And none of these are Nazgul. We'll put Clone Legion on top. And then Power Stone. Just get to the point where we can Clone Legion. Does anybody even have a board worth Clone Legioning, though? We can't break the legend rule. And so these two don't mean anything, because we can only copy a guy we already have. This thing's legendary. Oh. We could pirated copy, which is very sad. I want to be so clear. Turn 6, the best thing we can do is copy whatever Gary did turn 5. Is gross. Mirage Mockery saws. I'm going to put this one to the bottom because we're too big on clones and we're not big enough on... Yeah, and then it's more cloning, but nothing worth cloning. Okay. I'm going to playtest again because I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens when it works. We'll do blue-black. This Nazgul, boom, ring temps, we get a counter. Look at that, now the deck's fun. The deck's fun now. Boom, Nazgul. What's up, dipshits? Boom, Nazgul. What the fuck is up, Denny's? Yeah, this is a good deck. This card is still worthless. This card is doing nothing for us. We can get Lord of the Nazgul out. Okay, and now we can see Healy's Artistry. We don't have an artifact out, so I'm actually going to... I'm going to search frantically. Fuck that. Fuck preordain. Boom! Nazgul, baby! Get him out! Hold on. Boom, baby! We got him. Look at all these fucking Nazgul. If anybody board wipes us, I'm going to piss myself. Old Lettuce, this is Moxfield. We're doing the play tester in here. So this is pretty decent. We have a 5-6, a 4-5, a 3-4, and a 2-3. We have a lot of imposing death touch creatures on turn 6. Boom, Nazgul. And then eventually we can just creature type board wipe, and then we win. So sorry. We have like, I forgot about how Nazgul actually worked. Because all of these trigger each time a new one comes in. So it's like 1 trigger, 2 triggers, 3 triggers, 4 triggers. And so this is actually like 500 million. Fuck off, Crest. Alright, so let's move on to fixing you now. I am not going to remember the Lord of the Nazgul because he does not fucking matter. He does not matter until we have 9 Wraiths. At which point, if we have 9 Wraiths and everybody isn't already dead, we've made a terrifying mistake. So the thing I would recommend that you do not have is I would be wheeling the fuck out of people. I use this in my clone deck to great effect, but when the entire deck revolves around I need specifically one of these 10 cards to really do the funny thing, and everything else is pretty interchangeable, which for you it is. For some decks it isn't. Some decks have to very specifically go, I need to ramp, and then I need to play my commander, which is a synergy piece for this, and then that will send a marble tumbling down an aqueduct in Rome, which will eventually wake up the Pope, who will then mail me the card I actually need to win the game. You need 1 Nazgul, and everything else in the deck can let it rock. And so for you, you want Windfall. You want like Jace's Archivist. This is a repeatable one, so this would actually be like incredibly crazy. This is a deck that probably wouldn't feel too fucked up with tutors. Maybe. I'm not sure because Coat of Arms makes it so fucked up so quickly. So number 1, I would wheel like a motherfucker. Number 2, and this is unrelated to your issue with drawing Nazgul, is I would run either Rise of the Dark Realms, or I would run some type of creature that does a living death effect. Importantly, your deck folds completely to a board wipe. It is good at low power to have a way for people to interact with you. It is not good in low power to paint crosshairs onto your own taint and then posture it forward on the table to just proffer it to them as soon as you begin playing the game. And that is what you are doing right here. You have Kindred Dominance. If anybody fucking Wrath of Gods you, we had like 3 cards in hand after the clone plan was working. If you get hit with a Wrath of God, you just piss yourself until you die. And as Helios points out, we're going to be looting with the ring. And so some type of recursion is going to be really good. An important thing to keep track of is if you recur a bunch of these creature clones, they cannot copy anything else that hit the battlefield as a result of Rise of the Dark Realm. So if you had 9 Nazgul in your graveyard and you had, let's say, every single one of these creature clones, the creature clones couldn't enter as Nazgul, but they could enter as anything else. And so it's at minimum useful to get all your Nazgul back, or if a bunch of your clones get blown out and you have 1 Nazgul in hand, you can do Nazgul, Rise of the Dark Realms, get my 1,000,000 clones back, Something bad but thematic is Sam's desperate rescue. What's up, Beefcake? I think this is actually mad playable as a, I think this becomes playable as a result of using wheels. Let me see if there are any other wheels we can get access to. You would even take Dark Deal. I'll be so for real. You would even accept Dark Deal. Okay, how's the wording on Windfall? Discards their hand. Discards hand, then draws. Whispering Madness would also be very good for you. Like, God forbid you cipher this thing onto a Nazgul. Not that it's super necessary. But if the game plan doesn't get to be very active unless we've gotten to a Nazgul, wheels are going to be your best way to get to a Nazgul. The next best thing you could do would be to trade out the commander, but I don't think we should do that given the flavor restrictions of this being a Nazgul deck, and this is literally the Lord of the Nazgul. Okay, Ancient Excavation, a way to wheel without having the entire table kick you square in the dick. That's very useful. I don't think Memory is that great. You could do Days Undoing, because you don't necessarily need it in the graveyard, but what we need a lot is, we need extra mulligans. We need free mulligans that we don't deserve and nobody else asked for. Forgotten Creation could even be playable for you. Flux is also playable. Like, I think all of these 3 and 4 mana options to throw everything we currently have into the trash and pick up a new hand beat out your 3 mana clone options. Maybe not Glasspool Mimic, since it also doubles as a land, which is pretty useful, but I think Mirage Mockery, Mirror Image, Quasi Duplicate's probably the best one because you get to cast it twice. But Cackling Counterpart as well, since the recast is so expensive. I think these 3 mana ones and then probably even some 4 mana ones, you would be better off having a way to just skip to the next Nazgul to make sure you can play. Is your land base fine? Probably. If anything, I'll be real, you could probably cut lands because your curve doesn't exist above 5 mana, and for almost the entirety of the game, you need to get, if you get to 4 lands, you can play whatever you want, and we're going to transition you to having a lot of wheels in the deck, which means you're probably going to get to 3 to 4 land drops. So if you really wanted to find room for this stuff and you have a particular love for one of these clones, hold on. This thing is wacky. What the fuck? I both want you to have this and demand that you cut it, because this, to me, this reads, I exile a Nazgul from my hand, Steve from accounting plays a Braid, and then I punch Steve from accounting. I have immense difficulty imagining this as being anything other than I maybe get one Nazgul out of it, but it is an incredibly cute card. But anyway, if you're really having trouble cutting stuff, you could definitely cut like one land, maybe two lands. Banner of Kinship would be okay. Banner of Kinship is probably better than Coat of Arms as like a finisher, as your version of having a Craterhoof Behemoth. The creatures that enter as copies can be put into Soul Foundry too. That doesn't really change my opinion of it. My opinion of it is you're paying 7 to 8 mana for one good creature. And if I cast this for less than 7 mana and anybody has Artifact Destruction, then I just exiled one of presumably the better creatures from my hand, just to blow my own dick off. Sea Runner, thank you for coming by the stream, my friend. Oh yeah, you could also run Tolarian Winds, because we don't care about filling other people's graveyards outside of Rise of the Dark Realms, but Rise of the Dark Realms presumably wins for us just because we have a million wraiths hitting you with clubs. Gabster Guy, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. Oh no, Lazav is terrible, Helios, because this doesn't trigger the ETB. This doesn't trigger the ETB of our Nazgul. Do you think commander players play artifact removal? So TDIM, I think it's like almost a regional difference. It's almost like going from biome to biome in the Pokemon games, where like the Kanto region, no, nobody plays artifact. In the Kanto region, no, nobody plays artifact removal. Do whatever heinous machine fuckery you want, you're gonna get away with it. In Johto, you bring a contraption into Johto, they are taking your shoes off and they are burning them at the stake. You are fucked. And so, whether or not you can get away with having artifacts like this is something that I can't remark on without knowing your table, because every table I've ever played with plays crazy differently in terms of how willing they are to sacrifice having a stompy thing for having artifact and enchantment removal. What's up, Keon? Thank you for coming by the stream. So we don't do Lazav. Definitely you go for all of this wheel shit, because the wheels are going to be how you get to Nazgul. No, you're not worried about decking yourself, because if you deck yourself before the Nazgul can beat everybody to death, they deserve to win. That's like the Dead by Daylight, they survived thing. If you deck yourself with the wheels before you can play enough Nazgul to kill everybody, they survived the night, and they deserve the W. Box the Cat, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. And Jays9472, thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. What's up, Austin? What's up, Kid Song? Damian Cade, thank you for the Twitch follow. And Rings D&D, thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. Procky Online, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the doghouse. PG, right now it's a Patreon redeem to get your deck reviewed. We're full for this month, but it'll be opening up again next month. Procky Online, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home. And Lobster Fart, thank you for the Twitch follow. Thank you all so much for the outpouring of support right now. Wouldn't Teferi's Puzzle Box be good as a wheel option? And what about a deck manipulator like Scroll Rack and Top? Puzzle Box would actually be... Actually, I'm not sure about Puzzle Box, because the problem with Puzzle Box is we have a couple things we're really looking out for. And if we happen to get a hand that has a bunch of Nazgul, we don't want to then be forced to wheel it away. We want to always be able to wheel, but because we don't have any benefits for drawing cards, we don't necessarily want to be... We want to be the ones deciding if we mulligan again. We don't want to be mulliganing every turn just because. There's plenty of blue decks, or even red decks, that really want to be drawing as many cards as possible all of the time, and the cards are interchangeable. For us, we want to be wheeling until we get to a couple different kind of specific configurations, but then once we reach that configuration, we want to hang out there. Shadow Reaper, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Ilaren, I'm not getting hit with chicken butt again. Katane, they have Frantic Search already. So let's put you onto... Well, let's get everybody else off the personality matrix and get you onto the personality matrix. Oh, easy. For sure. For sure. Oh my god, it's functional sometimes. Because we definitely have a deck that can function. But because it is so all in on this one gimmick, you need to be more all in on making sure that you are getting to that gimmick, and you cannot be afraid of throwing your entire hand in the trash can to achieve this. Lobster Fart, thank you. So we did just change the stream schedule. The stream schedule is now Sundays to Wednesdays, noon to 4. And then sometimes Fridays we're going to do variety streams as well. Intario, you're not tricking me. There's no spider in the corner. I'm above this. I'm above this. I will not be had. We're going to move on to Aiko's deck, which is allegedly scary. Kayla, the Wheel Queen. See, this is what the previous person needed. Can you tell this was the last casual deck I built before becoming a CEDH player? That is a terrifying sentence. Straight up, that's a horrible sentence that you just said to me. $3,000, 27 lands. You know what? Yes. I don't care what the fuck is in here. 47 artifacts, 27 lands, and 3 bans? Yeah. I can tell this is the last thing you did before you gave in to the voices and played CEDH. Yeah, Beefcake, this is the first day of December roasts. Okay, 3 mana commander. I hate you, dude. I hate you. 2 tags in. 2 tags in, we've got a combo. Okay, so we're cost reducing her wheel. Removal permanent. Firebomb seems awful because it seems like that's what you just get back over and over. Even with your cost reducers, this is a little expensive, but goddamn. Oh, shufflers. Yeah, God forbid we deck out. God forbid, as we play our infinite mana animation module combo, we might deck out. 7 tutors, combo, Mind Goblin, Currency Converter, Gold Hound. I don't think this is a casual deck. I think this is just a bad CEDH deck. I think this is just an incredibly fringe CEDH deck. Yeah, we have some removal. Yeah, you got Grim Monolith in the ramp section. That is not casual. That is a body bag in the bathroom, brother. What the fuck are we talking about? Grim Monolith in casual. GameStopper, yes, I do. I generally am a little bit... It takes me longer to respond to chat on days that I'm doing deck roast because I'm trying to get complete thoughts out before I go to respond to chat. I don't know who the fuck Plagon is, GameStopper. Oh, yeah, okay. Manifold Key, we casual. This is This is like you walk into the haunted house, like the real life one, and this is when your toilet has blood in it and there's a face in the mirror. This shit is ominous as fuck. In fairness, look at the primer. There's a lot of Sonic fanfic. Winning combos all require infinite mana. Yeah, so it's get Kayla. I mean, this really just is a... This is a combo list with Heavenly Restriction. The combo is bad. I like that you attempted to restrain yourself, but you can smell the CEDH player on this list from 10 miles away. It is. Let's go to the playtest and let's see if I can figure out. DJ Anubian, thank you for the 200-bit cheer, my friend. Welcome to the dog home. Like, straight up, as soon as you had a table of contents and a paragraph break in your primer, I knew you were on some different shit. Only assassins do this. Normal people do not understand how to do the section break function in a Moxfield primer. Every other primer we read for this shit, it is one paragraph. Nobody uses the enter key. Nobody labels anything. They just say, haha, I really liked the art. But here, we have organization. We have the organization that is only possible from a madman. Yeah, this probably wins. We'll make humans uncounterable and play currency converter. I think we get rid of flooded strand, but what's like... Yeah, we'll grab plateau, sure. We have animation module already, so we'll draw, and then we do need a third land. I'm actually going to get rid of Giver of Runes. I'm not going to exile it. I presume we go get another OG duel in my silly, funny, casual list. Oh, I don't know the names of any of these. Oh, we only have 27 lands, so we're already done. Because we're insane. Because we're insane people. Okay, Sacred Foundry is fine. Do we play Kayla? Probably not. We probably play Selfless Spirit. And then we do this, and then we play Kayla. And I'm going to be kind of a dickhead and play animation module. I'm going to assume I have to sacrifice Selfless Spirit at some point during this turn, because why wouldn't I? Wheel. So we're going to bring that back. We're going to bring that back. And then we'll bring Selfless Spirit back. So we're going to add 3 red. We probably fizzle this turn. Oh, you basically never cast cards in hand? Alright, you know what? I'm not smart enough to play Boros combo. The only Boros combo I know is taking a hammer and applying it to somebody's face. I will say, you're very clever for having built this deck. You are a liar. I think, like... I'm not able to speak completely to the hard line between casual and CEDH because I don't think there's really a hard line. But if this is a casual deck, we are really right up there on the edge, because we're talking 3k worth of cards, presumably just to build out the land base. We're doing a lot of tutoring, we're doing a lot of deck manipulation, and the only thing that seems to be keeping it from being called CEDH is it doesn't have the level of redundancy that you would normally expect from a CEDH deck. And honestly, most Boros CEDH decks are just doing stacks because they don't have blue or black in them. The cost is from the foils. It's not that crazy. Dude, me when I lie. Me when I lie. Most closeted CEDH deck I have ever seen. It's the foils, bro. It's just the foils and the Urza's sagas and the fetch lands and the Sensei's top and the welders and the untappers and the other untappers and like, again, the 3k also isn't what makes it CEDH. I think what makes this a very interesting definition of casual to me is that there's one meaningful way to interact with it. It's probably at instant speed. And I want to be clear that this isn't problematic. It's just very indicative that you were always meant to be a CEDH player. You were always meant for that life. Because this is not a deck I in a million years would ever desire to build. And that doesn't make me a bad person or you a bad person. It does. It does. I think it just means that, like, the interests of people that play at a competitive level and the interests of people that play at the casual level are extremely different. I will say it's very glass cannon. If you kill her once, it can't win before turn 7 or 8. So that's what I mean by it's just bad CEDH. Like, I think there's... Hold on. We got to go to the slide for this. So there's this really common misconception that the power of a deck is like this, where on one end we have 10, it's good, or not even 10, it's good, but 10 is the level of competitive. This is where the competitive people are playing. And then 1, everyone has different definitions, but it's like 99 basic lands, some type of unplayable pile of dog shit. And then of course, most people's decks fall somewhere in these ranges. People are trying, but they're not trying so hard that they're hitting the very top of the spectrum. And therefore, you believe that your Kayla deck ends up somewhere around here. Precisely because, oh, well, it can't win all that fast. If you interrupt it, it has a lot of trouble rebuilding. I don't have multiple combos. I need to have the commander. And that commander exists on more axes than just 1 to 10. How good am I at winning quickly? The way you are playing the game is in a way of everyone else needs to jump you Jujutsu Kaisen style. And if they don't all jump you, I win at instant speed on my turn. And as someone who likes to play control, that can be an exciting way to play the game. For some people, it is very exciting to think about, okay, we have to see who's jockeying for position. We need to hold interaction. It's all very tense. It's all very exciting. And it is a game that is based on managing information rather than managing power and toughness on board. And then there's casual, where people don't want to manage that stuff. I think that is the core difference, is the more casual you get, the less people want to have to manage information, and the more they just want to have to manage fucking addition, counting up whatever is already on the board. They don't want hidden information to be as much a part of the game, whereas this deck is based almost entirely on hidden information. It's based on resolve the commander and then see if I can combo off. But when you combo off, you're doing it in a way that is incredibly difficult for the rest of the table to interact with. And I want to be clear, that is not empirically wrong by any stretch. It is, in my mind, very boring. Her ability is sorcery speed, to be fair, so it can't win at instant, and with my group, this deck has about 30-ish% win rate. Mind you, our group limit for the cards is no crazy fast man unless it's funny for the deck. So do you see how I'm talking about the methods of gameplay dictating how I think about the deck, and you're talking about its actual competitiveness and how those are different things? I do not say that to be denigrating, because I think you're just playing in a different arena, and you're playing in that arena very well, but I'm trying to highlight the difference in our thinking. I don't care about how effective it is. And when I talk about winning at instant speed, I understand you're talking about winning at instant speed on someone else's turn. I'm using the language wrong just because it's more intuitive to me this way, but I'm talking about, for somebody to stop you, they need to stop you at instant speed, other than if they have removal for your commander. But if you have your commander and turn 2 you were able to play one of these protection pieces, then either the entire table needs to jump you JJK style, or you're going to win in such a way that the only meaningful interaction is they have instant speed removal or an instant speed counter spell or like instant speed graveyard hate. That's what I'm talking about when I mean like the meaningful ways to play against you are to play on your turn. And I think that's a dumb thing about casual. I think casual tables are by and large way too focused on leaving other people's turns alone. But like what you have is definitely, you're over here in terms of, on like the power scale, on like an actual scale of just how competitive this is, yeah, probably 6 out of 10. If we go by, or 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10, whatever, 6 to 8 out of 10, if we go by your ability to win the game, I think you've placed the list correctly. But if we go by people's conception of what it means to play a game of Commander, you are playing a very furtive, I'm going to lay this on the table and either you have it or you don't, and if you don't have it, I immediately get to win. That feels very non-casual for a lot of people. And I'm trying to say that in the least judgy way possible, because I think it can exist at casual, but I do think it's very much on that bubble between the two. I was living in the CEDH trenches for the past 2 years and was trying to get back into casual, so I updated the list a bit and think I might need to retool some of my lists. That is a difficulty of moving back from CEDH to casual, which is that like you don't know how to play bad anymore. And that's what casual really wants to do. Casual, you want a card that says 5 mana, don't do anything. 5 mana, I don't know, maybe say hello, wave to somebody. 6 mana, bake some bread and pass it out at my local church function. Just do whatever. Zebra Fajita and Versha Schwerer, thank you very much for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the doghouse, my friends. No, Alex Jade, I don't think the difference is... Alright, let's recut this so my editor has a hope of doing this. The difference is winning the turn it hits the board versus getting a turn rotation to respond. I don't think that's true either, because this deck very explicitly gives you a turn rotation to respond. But it's, hey, I untap with this, I get to win. Is casual just bad magic or slow good magic? Yes. And I think that leads to a lot of the problems that people have, or the disagreements people have when they try to get casual tables together, is some people think of casual as good magic, but it happens slowly, and some people think of casual as bad magic. And if people were a little bit more transparent or had done a little bit more introspection about what they think the definition of casual is, I think we would have a lot less discourse about what it meant to be casual if people could just own, I think playing casually means playing bad magic, and I think playing casually means playing good magic, but without ramp or tutors. Can combo decks be casual? Well, I mean, this is what we're looking at right now. For me, I think a combo deck can objectively be casual, but only in the lens of, but only through the lens of exclusion. And what I mean by through the lens of exclusion is I think you can define a combo deck as casual only by saying, well, this has no hope of competing at the CEDH table, therefore it must be casual. In my mind, yes, this could be defined as casual, but I would never want to play against it. I wouldn't give Ico any grief for it. It is very well built. I think let's take a moment to appreciate. I think it is tremendously well built. You've done a very... What the fuck? Hold on. Why didn't we lead with this? Why didn't we lead with the mana table? Why didn't we lead with the fucking mana table instead of anything else about this deck? Bro's got a mana brick. He's got a mana brick that they're throwing through the window. This is fucking hilarious. No T-Mobile, no nothing. The bar is where the bar fucking is. And so Ico, I don't even think it's too good. I think really I'm just using this deck as a jumping off point for pontificating about the nature between casual and CDH. Because the thing is, they, again, to the watching Coliseum, they sent this in as scary. So they understand it's good. They did not send it in as, this is my silly haha whatever deck. The only reference of casual is them saying that it's non-CEDH, which is probably very specific to, like, this would not hang at a CEDH table, but very much exists in, like, the level of casual where we're playing good magic but a little bit slow. This is definitely Rogsai but a little shitty. Torgor, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. And so it is a good deck. I don't think it needs to be powered down, but I do think it's interesting to see that, like, after what 12 months of Rogsai does to a motherfucker is you just don't want to play the game. Like, it doesn't make sense to you to play the game on the avenue that the average commander player plays the game on anymore. Did I miss the sign-up deadline? Let me check if your name's in here. No, you're in here. Just send me in the roast scheduling channel. Just hit me with whatever other days you could be good for. I think combo is casual if you remove all tutors for it. Nate, that's just more of if I make the deck bad and inconsistent enough, that makes it casual, but you still have a frag grenade in your pool noodle. All right, let's put you on here. I think you're handcuffed yourself to a radiator for the bit, because you did Caleb and Krug, and then because you did the CMC thing, you were like, oh, I have to have this low CMC combo to hold it all together. And so this deck is the first Saw movie, but you are the villain, pretending to be passed out on the ground, saying you've given up the Rog Sai life. And no, you have not. You still are about that life. And that's okay. But just understand that you are about that life. Thank you for sending it in, Aiko. I hope you enjoyed. I do enjoy the deck, even if I am too stupid to play it. We will probably, I'm going to leave this open to refer back so that everybody else knows how focused they need to be on the shit they want to do. What do you call play whatever you want but don't win before like turn 5 or 6? I call that the worst shit ever, Tony Soprano. I call that my least favorite thing. That is like just fucking stepping on Legos all day. Do whatever, but we play hacky sack first is just show and tell commander. It is my least favorite kind of commander is where we start to place these arbitrary limits on when a deck can win, and we say as long as the deck took this long to win, the game was therefore fair, and we had no consideration for the battlefields people were playing on, whether or not it was interactive, whether or not people at the table had agency. Like so many things are more important to consider than how long the game took to finish. Yes, baby?
I have arrived.
Oh, nice.
Drink your water.
No. Look.
Chronically dehydrated baddies all the time.
I've never been dehydrated once.
Also, is the printer paper in here? No, I don't see it. Okay, the search continues.
Okay, baby. Thank you. All right. Now that I have a 3-gallon jug of water. So in my mind, I was thinking that for casual was set by how long it took you to win, and I guess I think wrong about that. I think a lot of people do think that casual is dictated by how long you take to win, and I think that is an incorrect idea that I am attempting to put out into the world. I don't think it's consistently satisfying to approach casual by the game needs to take this long. I think what most people really want out of a casual deck is for there to be a lot of posturing, for lack of a better word. I think people want build up. When you think about the progression of a story, that's what people want their commander games to feel like. They want it to feel like a movie or a book or honestly an anime. I think most people want their commander games to feel a lot like some type of anime battle where they're doing this cool and powerful stuff. They're, making new alliances mid-battle, which does not actually happen that commonly in an anime, but I guess it does in this one. Shut up. We're going with the analogy. But a lot of people want to feel like they generally know what's going on and can generally react to things. And as chat is exploding, I'm not going to look up at you peasants, but I will say, yeah, there's no one definition of casual either. So when I say this is how I think of it, I'm not saying this is the wrote correct definition, but I think there are some very common themes to casual. And I think one of the really common themes to casual is that approach of this is an anime battle. We're all going to yell our finishing move really, really loudly before we do it. Everyone's going to get to throw some punches in, yada, yada, yada. Would you say any of the assembling Cauldra lists I've sent in are not casual? No, Cyborg, because assembling Cauldra definitely doesn't win you the game. Assembling Cauldra is like the heart of that hyper anime. I'm yelling what I'm going to do very loudly. I'm doing a armor ritual in front of you. It's very slow. Oh, Nephris, thank you for subbing. It's weird that it didn't give the message. Deuce, thank you for resubbing for the 25th month in a row over 2 years together, my boy. What's up to you, big homie? What if I put World Slayer on Caldra? Go to hell. But with that, we're going to keep it moving to Zresriel's deck. Zresriel, are you here, my friend? The Melon King Sky, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. We've got Zresriel, then Walla TV. So if the two of you could check in for me, that would be much appreciated. All right, Zresriel, you're here. Beefcake Emperor, thank you very much for the gifted 5 subs. Welcome back to Dog Heaven, my friend. Beefcake, by the way, has gifted a total of 211 subs to this channel. One of our biggest subsidizers. Thank you very much, Beefcake. Dragon Lich, thank you for the 2 months in a row at Tier 1. Welcome back to the Dog Home. Hello to you as well. All right, Walla and Zresriel are both here. TubeZ, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome back to the dog, or welcome to the Dog Home for the first time. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. Happy Sunday, Luella. The Axie Leone, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Dog House. All right, let's get into Zresriel's deck. Silly and Spooky. Propagate Phyrexian Mites, oh fuck, by blinking Vishgraz, then proliferate the counters I give my opponents. Okay, Zresriel. So here's the thing, is you are now my champion. A thing I argue about very often is that I think poison counters are good for the world, but I think they're only good for the world in the context of toxic decks. I have stated loudly and clearly that I don't think that proliferate is a broken mechanic when it comes to infect counters. And your deck could very well prove me to be a liar. So you've done this for me in the past, and I'm going to need you to do it again. I need this deck to suck, Zresriel. I need it to be bad. Because if it's good, I'm going to be in trouble with a lot of people. Hyuga, thank you for the 9 months in a row with that Prime sub. Welcome back to the Dog Home, my friend. And Rehoneyed, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse. Okay, so we have 1 million pieces of Blink. And like you said, Blink Vishgraz to make a shitload of tokens. So that all makes sense. I do like that we have some... God, we're getting it wherever we can, huh? But I do like that we have some instant speed stuff so we can potentially use it as protection as well. Bugs on... Why is your fucking DeviantArt page on here, Zresriel? You were supposed to help my case. Does this look like help? Does this look like how we convince the world that the poison counter players can be trusted? I had one lying around. You son of a bitch. Okay, Pathbreaker, Ibrex, good. Rear Evor, kind of good, actually. I think Champion of Landhold's actually very, very strong for you. I am confused by Insidious Roots. So when is stuff 17 ramp? What the fuck are we paying for? Yeah, proliferate makes sense. I understand it makes the bugs mana dorks. I don't know if making the bugs mana dorks is necessary in green, unless we're trying to pay for like massive X spells. Phyrexian Swarmlord. Oh, this thing is fucked up. Make a 1/1 token with infect for each poison counter everyone has. Oh, another round. Is that it? What's the curve look like? All right, pretty green player. I remain very unconvinced. It seems like a thing that it seems like a thing that's very, very good in 2 or 3 specific situations and is very unnecessary everywhere else. All right, draw nothing below fucking 3 mana, amazing. Yeah, we have access to good draw, but why play good draw when we can just play 4 mana draw engine? This draw section is definitely built like nothing bad has ever happened to you in your whole life. Okay, we have effect doublers, poison counter doubler. Well, not... Yeah, doubler, effectively. I wish Ohertak wasn't good, because I hate tokens, but it is very good in this deck. Lot of lands. Very expensive recursion, but fuck it. Yeah, Skittles is dope. We will almost certainly need recursion at some point. I think this actually looks shockingly good. The only card I really have a question about is, I mean, definitely Insidious Roots. And then I don't necessarily believe in this card draw because it seems like all of the card draw is built to operate after things have already gone well. And the card draw isn't really built to do anything until things are already going well for us. But let's see if that's true. Okay, so we have Oracle of Moldiah. We have 1 land. So we'll do a free mulligan. You had another one of these fucking things? Okay. No. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it and we're gonna see. Oh, that is adorable. Adorably fucked up. Okay, so this... Yeah, honestly, you probably win just because we have this. So we Signet. We Sage, just to let them know what's fucking coming. We Vishgraz. And at this point we have... So we have 3 tokens. We can't use them yet. We probably drop... So we're gonna do green, green, green. Get Tribute to the World Tree down. Then we're gonna play Miri. And that'll get us a card off of Tribute to the World Tree. And then we swing, but we can't tap her yet. So maybe one person got a poison counter. Cryptolith right, we can tap all these guys now. Draw a card. We'll say we ordered this correctly. So we get to draw 2. DJ Bulbafett, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. And now we probably just win? Like, I can't imagine, because we have Unnatural Restoration. We can Proliferate. We have Phyresis Outbreak. Which confirms what I thought, that if we draw in the right order, everything's hot. Goddamn green players, and they just never draw the wrong card. Not once in their entire life have they ever drawn the wrong card. It just always works for them. Sure, we're gonna pretend this was fetchable with Farseek, because I'm too lazy to get the actual Triome. Okay, Sword of Truth and Justice. Vishra's turn 4 again, because nothing bad has ever happened to us. Card draw. Nobody's going to remove this, because bad things don't happen to us. I'm going to equip the sword. I'm going to play a sword. Card draw. Proliferate. We're not hitting lands, but who needs to? So, I think understanding that God would never punish you and therefore you don't actually need to have responsible card draw. The time you would need to have responsible card draw is if anybody killed Vishgraz in response to you trying to equip the sword. Like at this point we have a 2/6 that's kind of threatening, but if somebody wraths here, our best bet to try to rebuild... Oh, we just get to ramp with Hearth and Home. Never mind. You know what? Change nothing. You live in a different goddamn world than I do. My bad, Zrustriel. Because I actually have... When I play Magic, I actually have to play Magic. I actually have to plan about things going wrong and people interacting with my things. I don't get to just draw the exact right card for every situation all the fucking time because I played a forest. That's my fault. I should have thought about that before I gave you any feedback on what is obviously God's perfect Abzan deck. That's my bad. I won't do that in the future. You disgusting son of a bitch. Okay, bit over. I think this is quite good. I think the commitment to proliferation is good. I think Grand Cenobite is probably jokester shit. I can't imagine it is... I understand you had one lying around, which makes you dangerously close to the cardboard was too shiny. We'll just bring that back onto the personality matrix for literally no reason. But not only is Elishnorn suffocating, it's also, I think, worse than the other options that you have. Like Dragon Throne of Tarkir and Pathbreaker Ibex are both better because Vishgraz is going to be big. Having a bunch of 3/3s with Toxic 1 isn't that useful to you because it doesn't seem like you're winning based on combat damage anyway. You're winning on I get you to 10 poison counters because of combat damage. Obsidian, they're done through Patreon right now, but the redeems are full for this month. So when I look at the bugs on parade section, what seems better is is some type of evasion. No, not trade for Craterhoof. Trade for Cover of Darkness. Like, you can't block my shitty 1/1s is so much more intimidating and meaningful than my 1/1s are 3/3s, and also you no longer get to play mana dorks. That is a question of how strong you want the deck to be, but to me it feels like what Elish Norn does makes your deck strong in the wrong way. It also speeds up the evasion from Champion of Lambholt. That's not really true. You know what speeds up the evasion from Champion of Lambholt? Cover of Darkness. You know it's way more evasive than Champion of Lambholt? Cover of Darkness, brother. If this is in here as a Twitter bookmark, you can just say that though. Cause like you flicker once and Champion of Lambholt basically locks out the entire board. Cause one instance of flickering your commander gets Champion of Lambholt to 5/5. And at that point, very few people are blocking in the first place. So Champion of Lambholt is actually much more in line with Cover of Darkness than she is with Elish Norn Grand Cenobite. I was trying to not make poison too scary for my playgroup, and so I smothered them to death with a pillow. Is that the end of that sentence? I didn't want to make poison too imposing, and so I put them in a full Nelson and just watched as they slowly suffocated. Because that is what this does. Because I don't think you have anything in here that makes poison... Like, honestly, if you wanted to not make poison scary, you wouldn't have Yawgmoth in here. Isn't sleep the most peaceful way to go? It's not sleep, though. It's you sitting on top of them, slowly choking them painfully. I mean, this is not fully in on it's a combo type list, but this is on the same thing of if you shoot my commander in the chest, the deck does look like it falls apart pretty quickly. I just don't see the purpose of Elish Norn. I definitely don't see the purpose of Insidious Roots. I can kind of see it for the for Miri, who Miri is like, again, you just have another. If giving the mites evasion, I think that's what's making me so angry about it, is that it is internally inconsistent, and I cannot stand internal inconsistency. If it is too scary to give the mites evasion, then Champion of Lambholt and Miri should not be in here. Orin Frostfang is that type of like interactable evasion where, hey, you can choose to block it, you will get sepsis. But as soon as you have Miri on board and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tap Miri for mana, and now you can only block with one creature, we are already... I also just didn't think of Cover of Darkness. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's one of the points of these streams, is that chat and I come together, and we try to come up with cards that you may not have thought of for the deck. It is never an admonition for me to come up with a card that you may not have thought of, because there's too many fucking cards in this game. We're all here to learn how to be worse people together. And so we can both appreciate some of your hot pickups. Like, Miri is incredible here. I do want to touch the toe beans, even if I would die for it. and Champion of Lamholt is also very good here. Cover of Darkness just belongs in this section with them. And I don't think anything from Evasion needs to be cut, but I think Elish Norn or Insidious Roots is what is most cuttable. Because Elish Norn is just kind of like a generic, like... That's all Elish Norn is here to do. Hey Maul, the question for you. I know you can't give a full roast or much in the way of in-depth feedback, but I've been trying to help a friend build Narset Enchantress. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? I think it's a very good idea if you want your friend to avoid getting beaten up. If it's this Narset, the one that I'm thinking of, building them as Enchantress is only worthwhile if you really want to push the scientific limits of a question. How bad can a super good commander be? Because it's just so much worse. If you're talking about Enlightened Exile and you want to do Jeskai Enchantress, Iron Fist rant. Danny, get the what's up, Danny? Yeah, we can rant about Iron Fist in a second. We're almost done with this Abzan deck. So it's Enlightened Exile. I think it's probably pretty bad, but it might work. I think there's a decent thing here. I think if you really wanted to make like a low to mid power Narset, doing Enchantress would be the way to go. Because if you go cantrips, it's not only very, very good, it's also super easy. It's like buying a set of self-building Legos. You can't really power down Narset if you do 1 mana draw spells, because holy fuck, your brain can just be completely off. Like Narset Enlightened Exile with draw spells is the Jeskai equivalent of mono green Dinosaur Stompy. You don't really have to make decisions. You get to pretend like you have to make decisions, but you aren't making any meaningful ones. It's just cast card, cast card, cast card, you die. So I would give it a try. It's probably not going to be a deck you can play in like Gen Pop. You probably can't bring it around randoms because it's still likely to be pretty good, and I don't think anyone is going to believe you if you say, oh, it's weak, because Narset's so strong. I don't think anyone's going to believe you, but I think in a dedicated friend group you could give it a shot. Catane Soul and Proxus RG, thank you for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the doghouse, my friends. So Zrestrial, good job. I think this is evil. I think this is especially good at being a type of poisonous stepping stone. And I like that you went in a somewhat different direction of, I'm going to blink the fuck out of this guy. This playtest is scuffed because we're not hitting lands. This time we kind of are. We at least hit green. We'll pay 3. We'll Nature's Lore. What was that sand step thing? Mana's fixed. Whatever. It's a playtest. Fuck you. Jibber Jabbo, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome back to the dog home, my friend. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. Okay, turn 3. Yeah, I think we just rant more. Holy shit, what? 5? Forest. Do we have plains? We'll plains it up. So now we have 6 lands, so I'm gonna hold a white after we play this guy. And I'm going to assume that somebody tries to kill him because we have popped off. We've likely popped off first, which means we're going to get murdered for it, so we will ephemerate. Now we have 1,000,000 of these little assholes. And then we can cast it from exile for free. So we have 3 sick ones, and we have 6 that are ready to go. We have a Triome we can play. It's still not good. Listen, I know we have infinite mana if we do this. Shut the fuck up. It's still not good. We're not playing it. Okay? This card has cycling 0, because we're going to cycle it for something good. Fuck. This card has cycling 1, because we're going to cycle it for something good. God damn it. So let's... No bias. No bias. I'm just asking questions. No bias at all. Imagine if either of these cards were Cover of Darkness. Imagine if instead of having 9 mana to spend on not really anything, we could have made these 6 1/1s evasive and put a bunch of poison counters on people. Think about how dope that would have been. Think about what could have happened. Ephemerate would just make the tokens disappear, though. That is not true. The tokens do not, Ross, the tokens do not get created and then go away when Vishgraz is gone. The tokens just get made because Vishgraz entered the battlefield. So when we ephemerate, we're only exiling Vishgraz. So he'll come in, make 3. We pick him up again, and we leave the 3 tokens that he already made. Then he comes in again. He makes 3 new ones over and over and over and over. Getting to see the flicker strategy. This is fucked up. This is fucked up. Me when I go through a revolving door, but I just give birth every rotation. That's what's happening. You're going through the revolving door to the lobby of a Hilton hotel, and you're just empregging all over them every time you walk in. And then you're like, I'll be back later. Then you walk out, come back in, give birth, go out, come back in, give birth, go out, come back in, give birth, go out. And then the babies eat everyone. Look at that face. Look at that face. Don't hum me, Silver Breeze. You know what the fuck is happening. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Cover of Darkness. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this, but if we can... I mean, shit, dude. This is a Timmy-ass card, but this could be something. Beefcake, they have Teleportation Circle already. I think overall, more than all of this mana, more evasion would be very, very good for you. Whether that is Death Touch, or whether that is giving them flying somehow, or whether that is giving them Cover of Darkness or a Cover of Darkness-esque effect, letting the bugs be sneaky is probably much more meaningful to you. It may make the deck too good, but I doubt it in a world where your deck still has Yawgmoth. Like, that's the thing, is the Flicker Proliferate section is already such a... These two together are already such a powerful synergy that, like, the 1/1s being difficult to block, I don't think matters a whole lot, other than right now your 1/1s are kind of useless, and I would love for them to be not useless. Oh, and you have Enduring Vitality? Hey, good for you. Good for you. I see you on the streets 20 years, I'm taking my fucking eyebrows back, dude. Good for you. All right. So Danny has redeemed a rant about Iron Fist, which we're going to do before we move on to the next deck. So for those of you who have not played Marvel Rivals yet, it is a bad game. This is not true. He's the best character. So Marvel Rivals is an incredibly frustrating, incredibly shitty game made by bad people for bad people. And there are exactly 2 characters in the game who have any ability other than give you clinical depression, and one of them is Iron Fist. So tell me why in Better Overwatch they made one good DPS character and they made him the most punchable man in the United States. Look at this motherfucker's face. Look at his color scheme. This dude looks like such a massive shithead, and it hurts me in my heart because he is my favorite character to play. The only other character I can play is Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger's also sick as fuck. The game's still bad. Cloak and Dagger just saves the game. And this man saved the game first. And look how cunty he is. Look how cunty and stupid he is. It's awful. They don't even have a good skin for him. They have cool skins for everybody else. They left my man Iron Fist out to fucking dry. Man radiates Johnny Cage vibes. I'm going to assume you mean that as a compliment. I'm going to assume you mean that as the compliment that it is. But I love him so much, and I hate how bad I am at this game. Wish Ninja Turtle looking ass? Shut the fuck up, Murthan. Shut the fuck up. Better Overwatch, you're going to have to be more specific, bro. The bar is literally shin height. It's playable Overwatch, I'll say that. Cloak and Dagger are 2 people. No, how does that play? You have one button that switches between your characters. So let's go back and finish off Zerestial. Where is this going to go on the personality matrix? I'm going to put you on what in the actual fuck is happening. Just off the sentence, I play Flicker Infect. I think if you time traveled and told an alpha player I play Flicker Infect, like right after Inkmoth Nexus gets printed, I think their head explodes. And so I'm going to say what in the actual fuck is happening, because I think the first time you get caught lacking by this another round combo, you laugh. You laugh out loud because there is no response. There is no response to she cloud shift on my Doom Hive until I Vishgraz than to cackle. So very good deck, Zerestial. I very much enjoyed looking at it. I think it is really responsible. People are getting a lot better at doing this, but we're gonna walk through it just to be sure. You should always do the priority test for your decks, which is to ask, what do I think my priority is when playing this deck in terms of what do I want the deck to do? And then tag everything appropriately and then go through and count what your tags actually do and see if they do that or not. So in this deck, I think the weirdest thing is, oh, you have a bunch of shit tagged as ramp that should be tagged as cool swords. Shut the fuck up. You tag Vraska as ramp. Shut the frick up. So we have ramp, which is you're lying a lot. And then we have proliferate, blink, and card draw all in the same realm, which is like you're eating your vegetables, and then you have the 2 main mechanics that are bringing the deck forward, and then you have other ways to poison people outside of your commander poisoning people. So this is a very, very responsible ordering of priorities. And then you have like your treats are very low. You have under 5. You have enough that you're probably going to see one on the deck, but you're not necessarily going to see them every game. But that's okay, because these cards are not necessary to the deck functioning like these other cards are. So overall, yes, I'm very proud of how you've done. In fact, I think this is definitely appropriate at any casual table. I think if anyone gets mad or was to get mad and say like, oh, this is like a try-hard deck, this isn't casual, I think they're just tilted that they lost and they're latching on to whatever buzzword they can use to try to call you a bad person. So with that, let's move on to Walla TV's deck. After this, we have Bacon and Talamar. Bacon and Talamar, if you could both check in for me. Big idiots, big damage, multiple combats. Plans ramp a ton, control the board a little with board wipes, and then cast huge creatures. I usually name the person who I think is going to make the most blockers, or whoever has shown a propaganda type effect with Saskia. Multiple combats and damage multipliers work great. My local group doesn't love infinite combos, so I've built it with none, and the only win con is combat. Spooky. $6,000. 6,000 United States dollars. Interesting. All right. Oh, let's see if there are real tags or just creatures. Okay. A couple ways to get additional combats. Big idiot. God, the biggest idiot. Okay, is this basically like Jund good stuff and then also Elish Norn? Okay, Jund good stuff and then my 2 moms. My 3 moms. Don't worry, guys. It's all in the foils. The deck is actually obscenely fair. It's all in the foils. Do our big idiots start at 5 mana and only go up? That is fucked up. And 14 of them. Oh, good. Wheel of Fortune. I hate you. I need you to have worse card draw. Okay, damage multiplier. Oh, I was gonna say this is a little much, but I think these are just dual tags. So you have 3 things that are only in here as a damage multiplier. And then the rest are just also creatures that end up damaging things or doubling things. Very casual to Fairy's Protection. Eerie Ultimatum. A surprisingly responsible amount of removal. Spin the wheel. Just show and tell. Show and tell ass deck. Hey, man. Talk to me. What in the absolute fuck could be going on that you need this demonic tutor? What's going on at home? Huh? Mom been yelling a lot? You need a tutor for a security blanket? A friend? A shoulder to cry on? I could be that. I was the best man at your wedding. We go back 10 years, Walla. I know there is a good person deep inside you who doesn't need to play motherfucking demonic tutor in their random Timmy list. Come on! Be better. Okay, we have a bunch of OG duels. Oh, and then we have the full rules text Secret Lair lands. 15 pieces of ramp. We have a $22 arcane signet. Maybe it is alternate arts. Okay, so we have a bajillion pieces of ramp. Do we have any, like... Hot diggity shit. This is a green player curve. This is a green player curve if I've ever seen it. I tell you what, boy, God is gonna send you an aggro player to fix you one of these days. I tell you what, brother. God is gonna send down one of them aggro players, and he is going to let you know that it is your time. And you are going to learn. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you are. Let's see if you can achieve this curve. We will do the definitely slow land first, and then we will signet, and then we will command tower, and now the table dies, right? So we pop 2 people for 3. We do not want to wheel. We don't have anything on 5 because our deck has the fucking mana tower starting at 6. So we pass through. Then we Sower of Discord. So now we can shoot 3 people at once. Pop them with Saskia. Or no, sorry. We wouldn't play the land first. We would do, we would play Morag, land 2 combats, pop everyone. You jam Stampede? Yeah, nothing. You've never been hurt. Now we jam Stampede, that we have 2 combats. Jesus fuck. Jesus fuck. What's it like, dude? One day in your life, $1 million. I'll give it to you as soon as I have it, which is gonna be never. But one day in this fucking life where you get to just ramp for 4 turns straight, nobody hits you, there's no infect player, and then you cast your dumbass flip the top card of my library spell, and what do you get? 2 mommies and creepy uncle. My 2 hot moms and creepy uncle Stan. Fuck you. Who do you think you are? What the hell is wrong with you? And like, even if they remove us, we just, these decks are why land hate is reasonable. These decks right here is why natural balance should be a staple in every single commander deck in the world. Because this deck entirely is 5 turns of wait, don't hit me, and then every turn is the most heinous dog shit you have ever seen. Do we have green or do we need to... Okay, we need to shock Temple Garden, but then we get to 3 visits. Which we will, by the way, shock in to get fucking Soul Ring on the field. Now we have Saskia. I think we play this just to get it going. We could have cultivated as well. Why can't it be me? Why can't it be fucking me? Why is it never me, dude? What the fuck do you mean? This deck would never survive Brawl Q. I mean, yeah, it would not. No, it would not. It would get absolutely fucking murdered. This deck is predicated upon victimizing those who play hacky sack. And I'll tell you what I love about it. I love that you get to feel the joy of existing in a playgroup where you get to do this. This is a very silly thing that you get to do. And I hope to God that one day you are forced to play against the most shithead Krenko player you have ever met. I hope that one day you get blood mooned, and then after you get blood mooned, you get flood mooned. I can't remember the name of that fuck-ass merfolk that turns all non-basic lands into islands, but this deck deserves non-basic land hate more than any deck I have ever seen in the world. This deck deserves Finn the Fangbearer following you around at the circus, stealing your prizes, cutting the bottom out of your box of popcorn before it corners you in the porta potty and shoves you down inside it. I love what you're about. I love that you believe in Shai Hulud. I agree with your Twitter bookmarks. They match my own. I think the approach of fuck it, if I just double damage enough times, somebody will die. I hope you play against a competent Thraxamundar player. Exactly. That's what I'm fucking saying, dude. Because this truly is, I'm going to spend 4 to 5 turns not doing anything. And then after that, every single thing I play is going to be like a breaching whale in terms of impact on the game. And the worst part is I know you get away with it. And I both hope that people stop letting you get away with it, and I hope that you get to keep getting away with it. This is like a perfectly preserved biome of like the world that could exist if people didn't hate each other. Imagine if everybody just got to demonic tutor for Chamil every game and just play war and all have a great time. It's not the world I live in, but apparently it's the world you live in. This is ridiculous. You exist in Minecraft creative mode. This is an affront to responsible deck building, and I applaud you for it, and go fuck yourself. I'll see you tomorrow. Who lets you do this? And I love it there. I hope you never breach containment, Walla. I hope to God you never breach containment and have to deal with a fucking counterspell in your life. I don't even know, like, it's like, yeah, hey, the deck definitely needs card draw. Who cares? I'm gonna draw the One Ring. I'm gonna draw Wheel of Fortune. The deck definitely needs more recursion than Eerie Ultimatum, but like, fuck it, they're gonna draw it. I don't even know. There's no help I can give you, right? Because you're God's chosen. That's what Rhythm and Chamil are for? Fuck you. Don't speak to me. Don't speak to me ever again. That's why I'm gonna draw my 6 mana Dirtle Tower so that I don't have to play against the counter spells. You bastard. You absolute bastard. We're gonna move on. Alright, Bacon. Talamar, I saw you're around. Bacon, can I get a confirmation that you are around? And then we'll move on to your deck, my friend. What happens when Shamil gets countered? Where's your god then? Well, Iradium, they'd simply play Eerie Ultimatum. What do you mean? Are you trying to say that at some point... Are you trying to say at some point they wouldn't have every card they needed? Fuck, you're just right. Yeah, well, I play another Haymaker. I play Green Warden, bruh. You counter my 6-mana Dirtle Tower, I play my 6-mana Dirtle Tree. Fuck you. Do something. No shot. HSV Shipwright, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Alright, let's move on to Bacon's silly deck. It's the trees fight back, but with cool magic. Ent Battalion. Beat them down with the trees. I put Seedborn Muse in it, yes, but is it not a seed? In the forest? So you see why. They won those artifact things in battle. Bacon, I'm gonna keep it real. Beginner Gaslighter Lesson 101. Right here, you had it. This was funny. This was concise. The improper capitalization made it seem off the cuff. If you had just left it in, oh, of course I played the dumb cheater card. Is it not a seed? You would have gotten a light chuckle, and I would have scrolled past, and it would have been fine. You would have gotten away with it. They won those artifact things in battle. Interesting. See? You motherfucker. You motherfucker. Why do the trees have a breeding kink? This isn't even the artifacts that I'm supposed to be mad about. Why do the trees have a breeding kink? Huh? You explain something to me right now. I know how trees work, and it's not like this. I know how the trees procreate. Don't ask me why. And it's not like this. Fuck you. Where are your artifacts? Where are the artifacts you won in battle? A lamp. Presumably they won against Jax from League of Legends. Herald's Horn. We're gonna have a talk. We're gonna have a talk, okay? They have a mechanized breeding kink. They won this in battle. They won the Artificial Womb 4000 in battle. Alright, you little liar. Why are we doing this in colors where we can definitely afford to ramp anyway? Your deck is 3 to 5 mana. Why are you paying 4 mana to start cheating something out? Just play the goddamn thing for 4 mana. You son of a bitch. This one I'm almost inclined to allow because of the Ents in Lord of the Rings. I allow the Palantir because they canonically beat up an old man wizard army for it. True, like, yeah, the Palantir, if you had led with the Palantir, you probably get away with it. The birthing pod, ain't no fucking way. Tree's ready to fight you for sure. The book makes sense at least since it's made of trees. Would this not be an affront to like tree religion or burial practices or something? This seems like anti-flavor, because wouldn't the trees be mad at books? Like, I don't walk around with the bones of my cousin going like, all right, what are we gonna do, Rocco? It's just the Treenomicon. Okay, if you retag it Treenomicon, I will allow it. Then we have a million trees. Fuck the trees. I hate them. I hate the trees. They're in league with the wind. The breeding pod is because the Ent wives are gone. I'm gonna need you to shut up forever. Many people are saying this. Okay, finale of devastation. Some recursion, some sacrifice. We're digging deep. We can't be... See, this is what gets me. Is I don't like it when we're so deep in the flavor bag that we're paying 5 mana to kill a bitch just to also draw a card because we have a tree folk, and then we have the artificial womb 8000. I think on the spectrum of all those things, we gotta lean one way or the other. But let's see how it plays. Because one of the things is it's very hard to make any sort of condemnation of kindred decks. Because I like trees too, but if you build a deck that's all trees, there's like 20 good ones in the entire game. There's no decisions for me to judge you on, other than your breeding kink, which we have already talked about at length, and I'm going to continue speaking on. Okay, you guys know what the fuck the vibe is. Oh no, I missed my land drop. Dog, you don't even have anything good to reanimate. Why are we cheating shit out? I guess this one? Oh no, my land drop. We don't actually have black though. We don't actually have black though. So we're a little fucked. We're gonna keep seeing now the table has moved on. The table thinks we're soft. Oh, we had to discard again. Chromatic Lantern. Now it's our time. Turn we discard into reanimate on curve. We discard into reanimate on curve. He attacks. That stays on top revealed. Yeah, but at least it's a tree. True. We're gonna restart. This looks slightly more playable. Faburrow's probably playable. I mean, we just have to go get a swamp. Okay. Now we have Colfinor. HSV Shipwright, thank you for the tier 1 Twitch sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. Okay. We really have a lot of recursion for a deck that people would be absolutely insane to target. I mean, I guess with Greater Good it works. Because we had a 3 out of 4th. I guess we do this. Danny Ugg, welcome to Goon Duty. Happy to have you on the shift. Now we have Birthing Pod. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna recommend. I'm gonna recommend that you go back to the drawing board a little bit, because I think this deck has fallen into the same trap that a lot of kindred decks fall into, which is that kindred decks are actually a really, really bad premise. Using a creature type as the primary descriptor of what your deck is and does is okay only as a secondary adjective. Saying, oh, it's all trees is actually really bad for flavor, because trees can kind of beat the shit out of people, but not all that well. And Kolfanor particularly is only good at getting other trees back, and what you need is a gimmick. And the Ent Battalion is not actually a gimmick. And really, creature type battalion is never a gimmick. It is a trick gimmick. It is something that the deep state at Wizards of the Coast, who keep printing fucking elf ball commanders, want you to believe is a gimmick, but it is at best a surface level description of the creatures in your deck. So what I would really recommend is you need to go about crafting a gimmick for this deck much in the same way that you would try to title an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Right now we have a shitload of trees, but we need the trees to have a plan or an outcome that they wish to achieve. I am the Lorax and I speak for the trees. Oops, missed my land drop. Please don't break my knees. Returning to the point, Torgor, you're gonna get a Pulitzer for that, but returning to the point, there's very, very few decks where you should do a kindred game plan and you should actually just go all in on everything in that one creature type, because it's just not interesting. It's just not interesting past I get to say the same creature type over and over. And even in the tree deck, there's no flavor other than dirt. Eventually you probably beat people to death. If you get something that switches it to be butt first, you get to beat people to death. And if you get your greater good out, or if you get some other type of BBL card draw, and if we were going to try to improve the deck as is, I would add BBL card draw. But from a theme, from an interest perspective, you need to answer the question, why are tree folk interesting? And I think that's something that is probably that's something that you implicitly know. Like if I say, why is a deck made out of tree folk interesting? You probably go, because tree folk are cool. And you need to imagine that there is a really annoying 5-year-old going, why, but why, but why, but why? Kilroy says, Tree of Perdition is why. Kilroy, I'm going to recommend a psychiatrist for you, but if Tree of Perdition is why, you could build a deck around Tree of Perdition, but you need to find your why and rebuild this deck around that. I think everyone's why is deeper than trees are cool. If your answer is trees are cool, that's not untrue. You got to tell me why trees are cool. Sometimes trees are cool because they're going to outlast all of us. The trees will dance on our bones after the species dies out, and maybe you make tree pillow fort because of that. Or like tree drain, or tree aristocrats. But you have to have a reason that you think the creature type is compelling, and then you need to tunnel in on that creature type being compelling as shit. The most common one for trees is, I think it would be really funny if all of my trees were super caked up. And then they do Doran the Siege Tower as their commander, and they just do really high toughness beats you to death. And so if toughness matters is the why, let's reorient this around toughness matters being the why. But right now the deck doesn't have a why other than they all say tree. And it's difficult for me to make fun of you for that because I don't know what you care about. And for me to make fun of you in an accurate way, I need to know your hopes and dreams and your secret fears. And right now, the only fear that I'm getting is the fear of you actually presenting what you like. And I need you to flop it on the table for me so that I can cut it off and point at it in front of the class. Can you do that for me, my friend, old buddy, old pal? We've been through so much. We got through the thing with the cat, and that was really weird. We can get through this. So let's put you on the personality matrix. My hope is to kill people in MTG. My fear is to not get Doran. See, that's again like we need a if the why is no deeper than that, then kindred is not the route you need to be going down. If your why is just me when I kill people, kindred is a very bad structure to make that interesting at all. But regardless, I don't think any of these work. This is what I'm gonna do for the lacks meaningful personality section. Is we're gonna do, you need a motivational podcast and an acid trip. And if you don't want the deck to be interesting, that is a different thing entirely. But then at that point, you just abandon the idea of this is a theme deck. See, Alec, I don't think it's Behold My Stuff, because Behold My Stuff as a category broadly refers to people that have non-functional decks, but they are actually presenting the things that they care about. They just don't know how to tie it together in a mechanical way. This Ent Battalion deck is a deck that is mechanically functional, but does not present anything spiritually meaningful to the class. It presents a theme as a stand-in for the deck having a real personality. It presents a label. The deck is doing identity politics instead of actually cooking for us. Yeah, Ver, it changed in like the last year. It's been relatively recent. Before we move on to the next deck, thoughts on Winter Misanthropic Guide. CEDH possible or just high level? This is definitely not CEDH possible. Letting other people draw cards is so outrageously bad, even in a normal commander game, that it is very, very difficult to make this work at the CEDH level. The closest thing you could do would be so many tutors to try to guarantee delirium out of the gate, and even then letting people draw cards even if they're forced to discard, because in CEDH decks people will typically have recursion, or they can typically win at instant speed. Yeah, letting people get 2 additional cards, even if you can make them discard to 1 by the end of turn, is crazy bad. Them getting to effectively draw 3 every turn rotation is so strong for combo decks that I don't think Winter can win out in the long run. Threadbare Goblin, thank you very much for the 500-bit cheer, my friend. Welcome to Dog Heaven. What do I think about the Necro Bloom? The Landfall players haven't deserved it for 27 years now, and yet they keep fucking getting it. That is what I think about the Necro Bloom. 7 Phoenix Gaming, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to Doghouse, my friend. So let's move on to Talamar's deck. This is a silly deck. The 20 ways to win secret lair was such dog water, I decided to do it myself. I bought the secret lair, and I will be changing it into this. It contains 20 unique to the deck win cons that are listed in the Moxfield primer. Okay. Let's go to the primer. It's my retooling of the very underwhelming 20 ways to win deck. So approach, Biovision A, Celestial Convergence, Epic Struggle. I know I could look through the deck, but I don't want to be clicking out of the primer too much until we're done with it. Oh, if we get 20 creatures, we win. Felidar Sovereign, which we need like above life total to even cast this, right? Chad, thank you for coming over from YouTube. Halo Fountain, also unlikely. Happily Ever After. Heliod combo. So, real win con. 6 of the worst win cons I've heard of in my life. And then... How quickly can I play the Vine Boom? If any of you have eardrums or if that worked how I intended it to, that's how I imagine this deck goes. Alright guys, I'm going to try to resolve Happily Ever After. Oh boy, I only have 4 creatures out to cast my Halo Fountain. Oh look, Heliod. No Vine Booms? I'm going to fucking... God damn it. Editor, put in 1,000,000 Vine Booms when I did that face. We have 25 gates. They have Revel in Riches, have Simic Ascendancy, have Test of Endurance. Okay. So, Talamar, first and foremost, good job on improving the idea. I think it is both necessary to the idea of science itself and the advancement of human civilization that we take other people's ideas and we iterate on them, we put our own spin on them, we try to identify where they went wrong or where they could not see far enough, and we add our own perspective. That said, sometimes if the base idea is what if I shit in a box and sold it to people, that doesn't need to be iterated upon. And that's kind of how I feel about the 20 win cons in one deck Secret Lair. We're going to playtest it to be sure, but I believe you when you say that you have done a better job of doing the 20 win cons in one deck Secret Lair, but by your own admission, most of these win cons can't be pulled off. And so you've once again just ended up with like this fucking art project deck where I'm not convinced it can even play Commander. Like you looked at like the Wright brothers initial flying machine and you were like, I think that could be better. But instead of adding an engine or a chassis or any of the things that would eventually turn it into a proper plane, you just painted some sick fucking flames on it. And that's it. Is there nothing saucier to lead this deck with than Garth also? It won on Elder Dragon Hijinks. I mean, winning on a content show means absolutely nothing. The content shows aren't all scripted, but I promise you right now, everyone who is playing on a content show is playing badly to let funny things pop off. And so if your playgroup is also playing badly to let the funny thing pop off, go ahead. If your playgroup is actually playing with any sort of trying to win commander, okay, actually this tag's hot, never mind. I take back everything. The deck is sick, change nothing. You do have to play the song on your turns though. Okay, so we have 1,000,000 gates. Fuck it, green. Dog. My dude, this deck sucks. Oh my god. Turn 5, 1/1, gain life. We fucking got him. We discard to hand size? I fucking guess? Basilisk Gate. Or no, we'll play this to fix our mana. Garth. Oh yeah, I'm not playing the song. Here, I'll listen to it in my headphones on a different audio track editor. Pay the $2 million to license All I Do Is Win for this part of the playtest. Oh good, Folio of Fancies. Oh, we are hanging the absolute fuck out. Okay, we've got Dryad. We can play an additional land. Okay, Helix Pinnacle. Fucking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we pay 6. We're gonna mill 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and draw 6. Untapped, untapped, because fuck 'em, we ball. Helix Pinnacle. Mill 2, draw. Untapped, untapped. Fuck 'em, we ball. Eerie Ultimatum. Does that, we get Adeline, Keening Stone, Smuggler's Share. Revel in Riches. Guild Summit. Vedalken Orrery. Bunch of gates. We definitely don't have 50 life. Amulet of Necro Bloom. Okay, but we're gonna get like Landfall and Field of the Dead. Wait. Okay, wait, we might win. Turn 10, nobody interacts with us, nobody kills us. We might win off of Eerie Ultimatum because we had Field of the Dead. And we're gonna have 1, 2, just 2. We're gonna have 2 lands enter. Fucking please free me. So 2 lands are gonna enter. We'll make 2 2/2s, and we'll make 2 2/2s. So we'll make 4 creatures. We had 2. No, we have like 8 creatures. We had like 8 creatures. Turn 11. I give up. I Spiteful Banditry for 55 and I kill myself. Nobody blame Talamar for this. Because Talamar is just trying to fix what Wizards of the Coast did first. And the problem with it is that this many different win cons just don't talk to each other. The best win con this deck has is milling yourself for a bunch, playing Eerie Ultimatum, and just hoping everybody scoops. Because Eerie Ultimatum's not even going to win the game for you. It's just playing Eerie Ultimatum and going, I probably have it. And then letting everyone else give the fuck up. Like, you've elected to continue the life's work of a random crack addict you met in an alley. And I don't know, well, no, I do know why they let Wizards print this deck. It's because of money. But you have seen into the endless realities, my friend, and you are cooking on a level that the rest of us aren't ready for. When they release Commander 2, where every deck has 300 cards in it, we're going to call you back up here, and you're going to be the lead game designer. And until then, I need you to take a puff of your inhaler, and I need you to sit the fuck down. And the arts are very cute. I haven't seen the 20 WinCon Secret Lair base deck list. I do believe you that you have bettered it. I think it was such a bad idea from the get-go that I don't think it's worth fixing. Like, these mulligans are crazy. Like, blue. You're going to stop me with this list. You're going to stop me with this list when I'm bouncing a gate to hand to discard Eureka Moment. Oh, true. Pre-game action. Never mind. When I'm bouncing a gate to hand to do nothing with my turn 3. We can't kick this, and we want to kick this. Dude, I'm going to bring Boros anything, and I am going to cut your head clean off. I am going to cut your head clean off. Everybody on TikTok, the deck roasts currently are done as part of Patreon redeems. So these are previous signups that are being fulfilled right now. They will be opening up again next month. Are ley lines even good in Commander besides Void and Anticipation? They're not very good. No. There's some cases where they are playable, but they're not very good. Talamar, how much you sleep? How much you sleep a night? It's got to be like 4 hours you make a deck like that. You show me 25 gates in one deck, you got to be sleeping like 2 to 3 hours a night. Clean. Clean. Only caffeine and meth to keep you going. Alec, man, I just haven't written it yet. After switching to full-time, and now I'm trying to figure out my new stream schedule and other long-form content, I just have not, just haven't done it yet. Mr. Reed Rock, thank you for the Prime sub, and High Tides, thank you for the Prime sub as well. Welcome back to the dog home, my friends. I appreciate those Bezos bucks very much. You can ask a Magic-related question, but if it's like thoughts on X Commander, I probably won't give you that developed of an answer. Alright, Mercenary Hammer, are you here? And Jesh, are you still here? Jesh, I know you were here earlier in the stream, but if Mercenary Hammer and Jesh could still sign off, that would be appreciated. Green Screes 15, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. Anyone else has Jeffrey dollars? I appreciate them very much, but they of course are not necessary. I still want to do it, Alec Man, but I've been trying to... Some of you may notice I've been much more consistent with getting commander roasts done. I'm trying to get those back up to like 5 to 7 every week, and then worry about doing like 5 to 7 every week, and then moving on to other content. Deck from last month that kept getting rescheduled tonight. Perhaps, yeah, if we have no shows. But for now, Jesh is still here. So let me see. Oh, Mercenary Hamster is still here as well. So probably not, because we have both of the remaining people for today available. Capital D, thank you for that Prime sub. Welcome back to the dog home, my friend. I appreciate those Jeffrey dollars. And Raph32K and Dyson Stories, welcome. And Green Screes, welcome to the dog house. Thank you all for those Twitch follows. All right, let's move on to Mercenary Hamster's deck. A whip. Oh, work in progress. Okay. That was of the new Aminatu stepping out of my usual comfort zone. Now you're telling me that this is silly. And here's my thing, Hamster. I'm going to try not to come off as judgy or aggro here. But I've played against new Aminatu many times. My girlfriend plays new Aminatu. Do you have any fucking idea what I've been through, Hamster? You tell me new Aminatu is silly? I'm on that Will Smith Men in Black shit. This child has no business being in the spooky environment. The fact that they are here, I think they are the danger. I think Aminatu is the one who knocks. This commander is not capable of being silly. This child is only capable of pulling my entrails out through my asshole and wrapping me up with them in a little bow like it's Christmas motherfucking day. So when you tell me the commander is silly, I'm going to be stern with you. I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to see if you are playing bad enough enchantments to make this situation true. But we're going to find out together. Gaming Turtling, thank you for the follow. And Just Clark, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. Aminatu's carrying around college textbooks in Ravnica's streets at 2 a.m. Exactly. Exactly. Where did they get this staff? Huh? Why is it so sleek? Where's the net from? Soul Ring, go fuck yourself. Bunch of ramp. Okay, we have a tutor, we have card draw, we have another cost reducer, we have recursion, we have let's remember what Aminatu does. Cost reduce Cost reduction of 4 for the miracle cost, which is the cost if it's the first card we've drawn that turn. So for 2 mana, we get a 4/7 that can recur something. For 2 mana, we can pay life rather than mana value once a spell. We get Blood Omniscience. For 3 mana, we draw 3 cards from our opponent's decks collectively. Oh, and it's $1,300. Okay, so let's see what other enchantments you have. Stacks, Surveil 4. My enchantments have Shroud. Best black draw card in the game. Pillow Fort. 1 mana, fuck your commander. Semi-Pillow Fort. Copy something. Pillow Fort. Removal. Pillow Fort. Solemnity. The fuck? Smothering Tithe. We will eventually do damage. stacks piece, make angels, pillow fort. So is this just another way to surveil more? That's kind of clever. I'm not going to look at the rooms because I'm going to assume that anything that's a room probably works pretty well. So we have tutors, we have brain surge. What the fuck? Okay. It might be silly, but for like all the wrong reasons. Like this is... My first question is why are we building this as a pillow fort deck? Like this is so good. This is Esper, but it gets to be green because everything is cost reduced by 4. Why are we trying to be like... Why are we trying to be responsible and slow play when we get a 50% discount on everything from the fantasy pentagon? It's not like we need to play cards like Rhystic Study, but we have an immortality combo, and we don't actually have a way to try to win the game other than eventually Sigil of the Empty Throne beats you to death. All right, everybody can cease explaining. The Phyrexian Unlife Solemnity combo, good way to stay alive, but is discount only once per turn. So Pascal, all right. You don't understand how the child is moving and why the child needs to die. You do not understand why this child needs to be acted against. This child needs to be left behind, and I'm going to tell you why. Miracle ignores timing restrictions. What that means is if I draw a card on your turn and it's an enchantment and I am not allowed to play things with flash, Miracle will allow me to flash that enchantment in for the reduced cost. So if on your turn I cast motherfucker, give me the card. If I cast Opt on your turn and I draw Arvinox the Mind Flail and I have 3 black mana open, I can play Arvinox for 3 mana on your turn, even though it's a creature, even though it's not my turn, even though I don't have anything giving me flash. Miracle gives me de facto flash. And so if we put in this deck ways to draw 1 card on other people's turns, we can be so much more aggro. Like, my girlfriend plays this deck and is regularly the most aggro deck at the table. Because all they have to do, they don't even, like, you know, they have a very high power deck. They have a very high power version with Rhystic Study. But even if you don't have Rhystic, even when they don't resolve Rhystic Study, if they resolve Consider, I get free shit on your turn. We can be crazy aggressive. Like, I think the reason, if I were to make a soul read about why we've backed ourselves into such a Courage the Cowardly Dog game plan, is I would guess we bought the precon, or we saw the commander and wanted to build it, and the first place we went to was, I'm gonna play a bunch of rooms, because rooms are also from Duskmourn. And we looked at the rooms and we went, oh wow, this is pretty fucking bad. I'm gonna need to defend myself. And so then we went to defensive, we typed defensive enchantments into ChatGPT and it gave us this list. But it's wholly unnecessary. You really don't need to be committed to rooms unless you want to be. If we just wanted to be on, I see you're stepping out of your usual comfort zone, so I'm going to try to guide you in a little bit more of a constructive way than just than just dogging you for it. But what I would really recommend is we don't need to be on rooms. This commander can be crazy aggressive. Okay, bought the precon and decided to build it as a room deck. Hence stepping out of comfort zone, usually play artifacts. Hey baby, everyone say hi to my girlfriend. And water levels, what are we... I don't know, babe. You tell me. You tell me what those water levels are at. Naps, we do have a Discord server. It is joinable via my link tree. Or if you come to Twitch chat, the ! Discord command will get you into it. So, Hamster, my next question then is why rooms? We're going to bring you back to that same question we asked another submitter, which was if you wanted to do that because you thought it was cool, why is that cool? Do you just want to do enchantments because it's not artifacts? Do you want to do rooms for some specific reason? Because there's other stuff we can do with rooms. I wanted to do something different and didn't want to do 5 color rooms. So I also have the room win con. Immaterial. We're gonna sand down your personality to bare brick and we're gonna rebuild it from the foundations. So would building this as a functional enchantments deck constitute something different for you, or do you think it being rooms makes it different? Like, are enchantment decks already popular in your playgroup and so you don't think enchantments are different, but you think rooms are different? Rooms are different? It's more the enchantment deck part. Most people in my playgroup play aggro of some sort. Okay. So that can help make sense. So from a standpoint of the things we can fix, yeah, as Z is already going to be losing their mind. New Zur would be really, really good for you because you can begin turning all of your rooms into creatures that have Death Touch, Lifelink, and Hexproof. Much more meaningful than having a Sphere of Safety is having a Death Touching 5/5 that gives you Lifelink. You need to take the mentality of Robotnik versus Frieza. They can't kill you if you kill them first. Yeah, like, and another thing that is going to be really strong for you is just creature board wiping. Like, there's a reason that aggro folds to control so reliably, and your deck is so predicated upon, I'm going to play a bunch of enchantments. We have, let's see, we have 2. Is that 2 board wipes? Oh no, 3 board wipes. This is the most Starfield of Nyx deck that has ever Starfielded. Yeah, Starfield of Nyx would also be very, very hot. Baby, you need to look away, because if you put this in your deck, I will piss. So this would be really good for surveilling, especially if you surveilled away certain enchantments. But what we want to do, is we want to, rather than just make a bunch of enchantments that try to stop people from contesting you on the board, we want to turn your enchantments into a board presence as soon as possible. So Starfield of Nyx, I think there's also Hallowed Haunting. Like, you want to race them in the sense of, with this cost reduction and your ability to play on other people's turns, you can keep up with the aggro decks. Like, I don't know specifically what aggro decks other people are playing, but if you get Aminatu out turn 3 and you get a setup piece out turn 2, you can get cooking really, really fast. Now, the thing is, you can't get cooking if you're trying to one for one over and over and over again, which I think is the problem with cards like Cast Out, where we're just trying to spot remove over and over and over again. So like this, we played this Talisman of Dominance. So turn 3 Aminatu. We Surveil 2. Fuck both these cards. And see, now we have Karmic Justice. That's good protection for our other enchantments. Tadpole Jackson, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Talisman of Hierarchy is playable. So next turn, we Surveil again. We get Aetherios. I mean, we definitely want to keep that on top. And so we'll do Aetherios for a white and a black. Yeah, and I feel like the fact that you were playing against aggro in the first place has warped this deck in a very unhealthy way. I feel like you got hit once, and instead of hitting them back, you went into your garage and you built like an Iron Man suit to protect your tummy. And I would really like to get you back on the road of just punching back rather than trying to go into this like turtle shell comp, because cheating out a 6 mana enchantment, that shit should be absolutely devastating. That should be absolutely devastating to the board state of the game. And instead, all we're getting is I probably get to recur my commander next time it dies. And that's all. And one thing that's holding us back is a lot of these rooms are really bad into aggro tables. It's something where their value isn't that lacking overall, but where their value is lacking is they don't do things super immediately. And to respond to aggro, you need to put down chump blockers or you need to blow up their board very, very immediately. And so things that will help you with that are things like Gremlin Tamer. This isn't going to win you the game at first, but this is a consistent powerhouse in my girlfriend's version of the deck, because when you play Gremlin Tamer and then you play a value enchantment, you have a chump blocker. And a chump blocker is honestly better than this sphere of safety thing. So let's back out and look at all of these shitty ass rooms. So like Grand Entryway, Elegant Rotunda, never doing anything for you. All these cards say is they are an enchantment, but this is like a draft level card. I'm going to finally give Elec Man some love and look at their suggestion of Doomwake Giant. With Miracle, this costs 1 mana. it farts on everybody. A foul stench accompanies it. Death follows in its wake. You play this for 1 mana, and then if you're playing against anybody who's trying to go wide with tokens, you blow them out pretty instantly. Painful Quandary, this is also like, this is one of your first offensive things, but what this is most likely to do is make everybody really mad at you without winning the game. Dealing dealing 5 damage or discard per spell, you're not going to kill anybody off rip with this, but if the table was worried about anybody else, they're all going to rotate slowly towards you and begin taking hammers out of their pockets. So I don't have a name for this phenomenon yet. I'm going to try to come up with a silly name for it, but there are a ton of cards like this where their impact on the threat assessment is incredibly oversized compared to the benefit that they actually give you. And I think Painful Quandary is one of those cards. I think Frozen Aether is another one of those cards. Everybody's just going to beat you to death. I feel like Solemnity is also... Solemnity is not necessarily one of those cards, but Solemnity seems like it's only useful with Phyrexian Unlife, and that's probably not worthwhile. God, yeah. You do need to learn how to top yourself. I don't really like to recommend it to newbies, but if you could start topping yourself, this would be very, very powerful for you. Feelin', hell yeah, welcome to Twitch, my friend. And then Crystal Ball, Scry 2, also good to help set up the set up whatever your surveil cost is going to be. I don't think we want Limdual's Vault. Or actually we could. This is another tutor type card, but you're already running Enlightened Tutor. But like Blind Obedience, also not very good unless you're trying to stop someone who's doing like a haste creature combo. I don't think Master of Keys is doing that much for you either. I think Master of Keys is probably a holdover from the precon, but I think he's too expensive to be that useful for you. Slayer Kitty, they already have Brain Surge, so they already have that good top deck setup. Like, I don't think... This guy's also definitely not good enough. Just the Revelator, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Oh, true. Yeah, rather than Blind Obedience, Authority of the Consoles is what should be in instead of Blind Obedience if you want to be on this type of defensive game plan, because the extort cost is fine, but you probably don't want to be paying it. This deck wants to be really, really greedy with its pips because you want to hold mana open to continue miracling stuff out. Airball, my goat, thank you very much for the raid. And then we have a ton of this 1-for-1 stuff. Like I wonder what the deck could be if it spent more time building itself up rather than just trying to one for one. Because we have a ton of sorry, my thoughts are getting lost in a couple places. So everyone's saying authority of the consoles. My girlfriend's also saying authorities, hammers on noggin. I believe that. I kill people who play authority of consoles on principle. And so in that case, we just shouldn't have either of these. Fear of sleep paralysis is very strong. Yeah, this is in my girlfriend's deck. Is also a global taunt, but is so strong that, like, I don't know. So what I'm gonna look at, or let's see if anybody on EDHREC has good hot enchantments to cheat in with Aminatu, because what we're missing is none of our miracle hits matter. And so the main thing that our commander does really well can't actually win us the game, because all we've brought MTV's worst house tour and then a pillow fort that my 8-year-old built. And what we want to get is something very expensive and powerful that we can begin cheating out. See, like Shark Typhoon should probably go in a day ago, because it's for you 2 mana, and it's 2 mana to make flying chump blockers. Are we looking for Marvo? I do not think we're looking for Marvo for this deck. Webcam died. Oh my fucking god, the webcam. All right. Yeah, everything turned off because I swapped over to my webcam scene to try to fix the camera. I don't know what the problem is, but we're still here, so we're going to keep talking for the time being with no camera. TCE Ponkley, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Okay, so regardless, what this deck wants is like big, meaningful things to try and win the game with as it cheats things out. And right now we're just playing hyper defensively. So like Hallowed Haunting is gonna get you chump blockers. Wow, enchantments are bad. Holy shit. I don't think we want to do Kathar's Crusade because we're going to be so low on Because if we do Kathar's Crusade, we don't really have a ton of creatures. Soothsaying is good for top deck manipulation. Yeah, this is like... I think this is one of those cards that is typically very bad but becomes playable because of what our commander is doing, which is honestly beautiful. I do not think we want to do Mind's Dilation. What's Virulent Plague do? This would be good anti-token strategy, but it is heavily dependent on your opponent's aggro strategies being token based, and we do not know that. Mods, please explode 7 Phoenix Gaming's penis for recommending we do an infinite life drain combo in the silly deck. Yeah, Exquisite Blood. This is somehow Authority of the Consoles is a global taunt, but doesn't actually win you the game, and Exquisite Blood isn't, despite it very much winning you the game. I've seen it happen time and time again. I try to tell motherfuckers, nobody listens. Everybody is so chill about seeing Exquisite Blood hit the table as long as you say, oh, there's no infinite. Everyone's like totally fucking relaxed. If you just say, oh yeah, there's no infinite, I'm just gonna gain life for every point of damage you take. And everyone's like, oh, cool. And then they'll hit Todd in the face for 20 and you'll gain 20 and they'll be like, oh, whatever, I guess that's fine. I do not understand how this card slips below the stream of consciousness. Audio cutout, don't fucking say that. Do not say that to me. The audio's fine. Rival Thoughts, the audio's fine. Baneful Omen. No, I think this is Global Taunt. This is Global Taunt, and you need a lot of pips for it. Penance. That's pretty funny. If you were gonna do a defensive game plan, this is the funniest possible defensive game plan you could have. Overall, I would lean much more into win enchantment, I make creature, or I draw a card. So you have Sigil, and that makes sense and is good. We do want to get Gremlin Tamer in here. We do want to get Zur in here. Ghostly Dancers would be good. Rather than focusing so much on preventing people from attacking us, we just want to have creatures that can deal with those attacks. Archon of Sun's Grace would be even more overwhelmingly strong because it would give us a bunch of life-linking 2/2s, and so then all of a sudden nobody wants to attack us because we're just going to lifesteal off of it. We did already recommend Hallowed Haunting. We recommended Gremlin Tamer. Depending on how good your table is, Fairy Mastermind could be incredibly powerful because it could be a highly reliable way to get an extra card draw every part of the turn rotation, or it could be fucking terrible. It depends entirely on how greedy the people you play with are. But I think the place we need to end with in this deck is this deck needs an attitude adjustment more than it needs a mechanical adjustment. This deck is coming to the table with the idea that I can't be as aggressive as these aggro players, therefore I need to go totally on the defensive. And the place you want to get to mentally is you may not be as fast to lethal as the aggro players, but this deck can actually get to a sufficient board presence to stiff arm the 5/5 aggro player much faster than you think. And you should go much more all in on how can I convert these enchantments into having a board presence? How can I make sure that I am constantly drawing and miracling things in, and I have as much like 1 to 3 mana ramp as possible to make that happen? And then you actually get to play Magic. Whereas right now you have, how many rooms do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 flavor picks, and then we have 10 cards that say, please don't fucking hit me. And then we have all of our lands, and then we have the, you know, generic enchantment creature package, and it leaves us with like 10 cards with which to actually play Magic the Gathering, rather than let's play aggro Enchantress, which we are allowed to play because the commander is so good at cheating things out. So I'm actually also going to put you, we're also going to put you under here, but you are much more heavily weighted towards the motivational podcast than the acid trip. I think you just have a friend who plays Krenko or plays Finn the Fang Bearer, and they've gotten to you, and you got to hit them back. You got to poison their lunch, dude. Don't let them do that. Okay, let's see if the camera's gonna work now. All right, the camera's back on. I don't know if it like overheated or had a memory issue or what. All right, we're gonna move on to the final deck of today, which is Jesh. With only 11 lists on EDHREC at the time I built it, and only 28 at the time of writing, this is my most niche commander deck. It has also proven to be quite strong in my playgroup because it automatically rebuilds after board wipes, among other things. The goal is to use the commander to eat cards, tap him, push him into a wood chipper, have him come back moments later slightly more buff. We then take away his gym membership so we can do it again and again and again. The gimmick for this deck is that the mana costs and production are exactly 50% black pips and 50% white pips, and I intend to keep it that way, even if it does make changing the cards annoying. For more information on the combos, there's a primer on the deck page. Holy fuck, what? What is that gimmick, dude? Was it given to you by an angry genie? This looks awful. Okay, Abdell Haunted One. So we get to flicker a bunch of stuff. We make soldier tokens, and tapping something gives it Undying. Okay, so the wood chipper part is we swing Abdell, he gets Undying, we kill him, he leaves, we get our stuff back, he comes with Undying, we exile our stuff again, and then we remove the counter and we repeat the process. So you're already a liar. %50 of all symbols. Oh wait, okay, the production is balanced, so maybe it's just Moxfield's capping. Okay, I think just Moxfield is capping, because I know that this part's balanced, but the production looked unbalanced, but I think... Okay. So it's Thanos' commander deck. It's Thanos tried to build a casual commander deck. This is like your friend who has a really shitty dietary restriction, but you think they made it up. Like this is not the deck of someone who's gluten intolerant. This is someone who says if you ever feed me food dye yellow number 17, I'll explode. And so it's just impossible to ever go out to dinner with them. 5 cards that kill. 4 pieces of life gain for presumably no reason. Quick blink. Ramp, draw cards. Okay, we have some bad cards. We have some bad cards that become good because of our commander. I like this, because these 3 cards are unplayable dog shit, but if we're blinking Abdell forever, they become playable. Just good. So make even more tokens. Panharmonicon, Batwing, Broom. What's interesting is I'm not sure this is niche. I think the... Like if we look at cards that kill... Is this not just Orzhov aristocrats, but with a different aristocrat at the head? This seems like, you know, oh, I'm different because I'm the gruff everyman who was elevated to my station by virtue of serving my kingdom in the war. But at the end of the day, you still own land and you still own serfs. It is definitely a very, very niche commander itself. In terms of life gain, I'm not sure why we have it. Do we have a lot of ETBs? I think we have a pretty healthy amount, yeah. Let's look at the primer. Oh, no. Oh, this deck's gonna be fucked up. They have the set. They know how to use the enter key. They have section breaks. Okay, so this is just a combo deck. Is what I'm seeing here. This deck was built with one intentional infinite combo and no way to search the pieces. Testing has revealed several other unintended infinites, starting with Abdell, Adrian, and Haunted One in play. Each category has the cards in it listed in decreasing order of preference. Okay. So we're going to once again put it through the... This is not my make or break for if the deck is well built. I think looking at the number of different tags you have, I probably believe the deck is well built, and the primer has paragraphs, which means you are a fucking mad scientist. My general rule of thumb for whether or not I think a combo deck is cool is, can it participate in the game outside of the specific combo? And the only way we're going to figure that out is through the playtest. Oh, real as fuck, we have Mana Tithe. What's this guy do? Tap a creature, true. We can play What's our best play? Presumably get Haunted one down. Then get Springleaf. Okay, so we have Abdell now. So we'll take these two things away under Abdell. And then we swing him. He gets Undying. We Village Rights him. So we draw 2. We sack him. When he leaves, that's the wrong token. When he leaves, we get 2 soldiers. He cometh back with a counter. And then presumably we pick the same 2 things again. Play our land. So we have 2 1/1s. Maybe play Preston. And we hold open mana for Manatide. Let's say we Manatide something incredibly funny. That's our participation in the funny thing for the game. Oh, the soldiers were on ETB. Sure. So Corpse Knight, Teleportation Circle. End step, we flicker. When he comes back, we take... Well, we can take Preston too. So now we have him without a counter. We have Corpse Knight. We're going to see 3 tokens enter. Corpse Knight will do a little bit of stuff. So we swing Ashnod. We put Ashnod's altar down. Swing him. He gets Undying. We sack him. He leaves. These guys pop back in. We get a copy of it because of Preston the Vanisher. He comes back in. Preston sees him enter. So we get a token copy. But we have to... So I don't know how his token copy trigger... I don't know how his token copy trigger works with Preston. If we would get to... I think we get to make the soldiers before we sack this one to the legend rule. But I'm not sure. Either way, I hate everything that's going on. This playtest looks mighty unplayable. Okay, we may gain life. So swamp. We may gain life. I mean, Joe Salsa, I think the important thing to consider is that this is not a Flicker deck. This is a Rube Goldberg machine combo deck. This is the Pee Wee Herman breakfast special, but for combos. Because now we have Panharmonicon. Now turn 5, we ramp. Oh, the camera's going off again? Okay. We'll just turn it off for the end. I mean, listen. You guys don't need to see. You guys don't need to see my face for the rest of this playtest. Regrettably, I do think this is my least favorite type of deck, which is the hold up, let me cook until the kitchen fucking explodes. Because it seems like all it does before... It seems like it spends most of its life putting down token resistance, whether that's like a 1-1 or a 1-2, or maybe the 1-1s made by Abdell himself, but like truly just not doing a goddamn thing in the commander game until it's basically ready to pop the fuck off and turn everybody into paste with Corpse Knight. And that frustrates me deeply. With your playgroup, it may be appropriate, but God, I hate a motherfucker who's just sitting in the corner saying, wait, I'm working on something, and then 10 minutes later takes out a bag of shit and lights it on fire and throws it at us. Like, that's what you were working on, buddy? Why is that what you were working on? Why couldn't you be working on something like going outside or talking to people or talking to a therapist? Because it does seem like if somebody shoots Abdell when you play him, or somebody shoots really any of your important combo pieces, the deck super sits there. We don't rant very well because we're an Orzhov. We've also gone pretty all in on the combo, which is generally good, but the type of combo it is intensely... I don't play mana, or I don't play magic until I play all of the magic. And this is why I end up retooling a lot of my own decks, is because they fall into this. So it is a normal thing to fall into this type of like Ouroboros endless value loop when you're making the deck. But God, do it piss me off. Because at this point, you're not a player, you're just a stage hazard. You're just this like thing that can come off the top rope every, you have like a random chance to come off the top rope every turn and piss in my Cheerios. Like maybe you interact with Preston, but other than that, for the most part, it looks like you are leaving it almost entirely up to Jesus. Because we also, because we could be on like, I'm gonna very responsibly blink a bunch of removal pieces, almost like what that Enchantress deck had previously. It is kind of kooky in the sense of, maybe the best way to put it is the commanders made me very interested, and the 98 deflated a lot of that interest. Because you've come at an excruciatingly normal type of combo from a direction that is relatively uncommon. And so it's a bit of a letdown to go from, oh, what the fuck are they going to do with this? 28 people in the world have worked with this, and what you've ended up with is a very fragile version of local white man pisses in everybody's Cheerios. Which is fucking tough. I think Honor Worn Shaku, very clever. I think a lot of your tap inclusions are actually pretty clever, and this is where a lot of your like personal research ability comes through. Infinite 1/1 tokens are cool. I'm gonna hit you with why. And it's less about in the case of this specific deck, it's less about the output not being cool and more about the deck. The deck's agency goes from 0 to all of it once it achieves the loop. It goes from, it probably has to politic and bargain around, oh, don't hit me, I'm not doing anything, to then, I have taken your Nikes, I have cut your head off, I have cut your head off, and I have salted your fields, but there's no build-up. There's no, like, in the epic anime fight, this is the scientist guy who does nothing for 10 chapters and then speed blitzes everybody with the gun he built. Because I run Ink Shield and Pyroclasm. So Berg, I would follow up with, if Ink Shield's cool, I don't think that's tokens are cool. I think that's reversals are cool. Ink Shield is generally a pretty funny card because you get to totally reverse the momentum of whatever was happening in the game prior to that. Whoever had a shitload of damage to deal to you no longer gets to deal that damage, and now you have a million things. That's cool, but not necessarily because you have a million things. It's cool because you did a judo flip. Oh, Monty, that's a good way to put it. There's no evolution stages in this Pokemon. It's like just a Voltorb. This deck is just a Voltorb that has a, like, % chance to self-destruct. That's what we've got going on right here. And what you may want to do is, like, get into some CEDH, because this seems like the exact type of energy of, like, almost like fringe CEDH lists. Like, there is a lot of very cool shit people are doing to play CEDH but not play top of the meta decks. And I don't think this one is necessarily good enough in and of itself because it takes a while to get there. But this is the type of, like, dedication to brewing the deck that I think translates really, really well to trying to play it on a more competitive level. Because you try to get really complicated for it, or really complicated with it, and the deck list itself is interesting, but the playing of the deck is every Aristocrats combo deck I've ever been subjected to against my will. Right, like Springleaf Drum? Who the fuck thinks of that? Who the fuck thinks of Springleaf Drum? And now we get to do this Deadly Dispute shit, and we get Undying, and we get all this loops back. And we get basically nothing for it. We get 3 1/1s, we get an ETB trigger, and nothing we do matters until we draw into one of these loops. And then once we draw into one of these loops, nothing we do matters because we've killed everybody. Cat oven all over again. Yeah. And so what's the, like... We're going to change the personality matrix for you again, because I don't feel right. I don't really feel right disparaging you, because I don't think it's come from a place of malevolence or trying to jump the table. But this is an academic's deck list. This is the deck list of somebody who was very, very focused on doing a cool thing to see if they could. But from a Riz perspective, what we've ended up with is like chemically identical Prozac, but you have like one of the molecules has a different chirality. And so to the other chemistry nerds, it's the coolest thing ever. And to the rest of us, we're like, why the fuck are you giving us more Prozac? But regardless, thank you very much for the submission and for sharing it with us and for running Manatithe. We do need more people like you. See, like, Lethal Sting is so fucking smart, dude, right? That's so clever. It's painfully clever. put a -1/-1 counter on my creature to continue running the ones with this weird fucking 1/1 counter combo thing I've got. Like Solemnity, my own commander to make Undying work. It's so smart. I was originally inspired to make this deck by playing against a mono-white Abdell deck that had a really hard time closing the game, and the black helped that. I believe that. And you know what would probably help it more? If we didn't have this weird fucking pip restriction. Like, this is heavenly restriction. I can't eat shrimp ramen, and then you went on a trip to Japan. I forgot about the weird it has to be perfectly biracial. If the deck did not have to be so precisely biracial, we may be able to reconfigure it a little bit. But because we have to be 100% Drake is also, and again, it's so clever that you did that. It's so overwhelmingly clever that you built this deck that works with this weird pip restriction, and you brought in cards like Lethal Sting. But it's one of those things where the building of it was probably much more satisfying than the playing of it, because nobody you're playing this against can viscerally appreciate the pip thing like you can. And I can try to, but I'm also an idiot. I think that's very important to keep track of as well. Like, so much of this deck is the life story in front of the actual recipe when you're just trying to figure out how to make macaroni. This is the food blogger's arduous tale of how they were born on the streets of South Chicago and were left in the forest one day and got raised by wolves, and then they ate half of Gordon Ramsay's liver, and that gave them the power necessary to open their own restaurant, and now all they serve is a specific type of pasta made from a grain harvested from South Vietnam, and they only make their sauce out of a certain tuber harvested from Russia, and all the people at the restaurant know is, God damn, this tastes like Kraft mac and cheese. The pip thing was better on Tapped Out when it was a pie chart. Yeah, you probably got some good yin-yang visuals there. So you have, like, this is a brewer's deck more than it is a player's deck. And that's okay. That happens sometimes. But that's where I think we're at with it. That is going to be it for stream today. We're going to look for somebody to raid. We're going to be back tomorrow at noon Pacific yet again. Tomorrow's probably going to be some MTGO or MTGA gameplay. Bean, actually, can we run a poll what the people want to see? Your options are Marvel Rivals, MTG, Magic gameplay, or Path of Exile 2. So Bean, please run that poll. And then everybody else who was scheduled for a roast who isn't, you will be dispersed over the next couple weeks. And I will be scheduling and emailing all of the remaining roasts for this month after I get off stream. I'm about to out-type this motherfucker. All right, we have the poll going. Hardcore WoW. I will accept Hardcore WoW as a write-in, but only if you fully comment it. You have to fully type in Hardcore WoW if you want me to subject myself to that bullshit with no guild, nobody to help me, by myself, on the street, cousin in jail, dad murdered, all that type of shit. If you want that, you need to type the whole thing out for me. Okay, we're up to 3 votes. That's competitive. 4 votes, decidedly losing to Magic, but not by too much. POE2 Hardcore SSF. That is far too many acronyms for me, my friend. TikTok, we're going to close you out here while we finish off this poll, but I will be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. Softcore WoW. I'll call that 4.5 votes. Thank you, Real Berg, and thank you all for coming by the stream. Let me start looking for somebody to raid while we keep running this poll. All right, so we got Alpha Frogs, Benji the Brewer. I don't know any of these people. Send him to the rip. Dude, nobody's voting for League of Legends. Path of Exile 2 doing surprisingly well, only losing to Magic by a little bit. We're up to... Okay, Rat, you can't vote again for Hardcore World of Warcraft. Smoky Space, on your deck, I cannot do a full deck roast for free, but our Discord does offer a lot of free deck advice. And so if you go into our Discord, there's a deck help section. And so if you post it there, a lot of people will be happy to weigh in on it and tell you how to make a functional deck. All right, it looks like it's almost certainly going to be Magic gameplay, but we will have more variety streams later in the week. So we're going to pick somebody to raid. Let's see. We're going to raid Ben Wheeler. I don't know them well enough to suggest that we do a naughty raid message. God, I really need a like list of canned raid messages to do. Oh, is Fey Kindred Aristocrats a good personality? It's not a deep one. It's a usable one, but I would say it's pretty surface level. Oh yeah, Mana Brick. That's gonna be the raid message. Thank you, Beefcake. So everyone be nice to Ben. I hope to see you all tomorrow. Thank you for the follows, the subscribes, and for keeping me company. I hope you are all having a good weekend, and I hope you remember to stay toxic.